I have been wanting to make this video for a while now, but that goddamn roadmap stopped everything. And school too. Yeah, school was definitely also a factor. None of your concern. But now, I finally have the time to make this video. Welcome, ladies, gentlemen, anyone in between or beyond, to the Outlast Trials. The Outlast Trials is a co-op survival horror game where you try to survive brutal tasks in the Sinlaya facility. I know it's not pronounced Sinlaya, but that's how I've been pronouncing it since the dawn of this game. So old habits die hard, I guess. In this video, I'll be discussing as much as my brain can remember about this game. Last time I did this, I had little editing experience, and made the video with a self-imposed time crunch that heavily hurt the video. 3 days, 8 hours each day, that was very fun. I'm sure I will get sick of making this video by the time I'm done editing it. Since then, the game has changed a lot. New currency has been introduced, and others have been phased out. Rebirthing changed, new prime assets, new trials and MK trials, and much more, so there is a lot to go through. While I could tell you what I will be discussing in this video, it would be quicker to say what I won't be talking about. I will not be talking about every variator, common item spawn locations, enemy spawns, and every single lore document. I will go through a couple of the lore documents, but not every single one of them, as there are a lot in this game, and if you thought for 2 seconds I read through every single one, no. I'm not reading through like a book's worth of lore documents for this video, because I'm illiterate. I can't read. I am also liable to get things wrong in this video, like with lore. Like I'm not a lore master. And some game mechanics I may be incorrect on. Most of them I am right on, but some of the miscellaneous ones, or like really obscure ones, I might be misinformed on. So, but you know, you can trust a significant amount of this video. I'm not a perfect game analyzer. Also, the Outlast Trials is a live service game, meaning that it will continuously get new updates and new content until it dies. Meaning that this video will become outdated in terms of content, probably only months from this upload, hell, even days knowing my luck. So if you're watching a year or so from now, don't expect any of the new trials or enemies to be covered. This video was made as of the Project Messiah update. Let's get right into the beginning of the game. Oh yeah, here's my hours before filming this video. At the end of the video, I'll show you my hours after filming everything. You asked for help, so why are you now refusing it? It is wrong to bite the hand that feeds you. We want you to get better. We love you. And I'm sorry that the love that makes you better is the one that you despise. The trials will wriggle beneath your skin, they will become you. The only way out is through. Be reborn. Achieve rebirth. You play as reagents, which are made up of undesirable people, the homeless and such, people who are down on their luck and rely on charity to live. Murkoff charitable outreach centers offer that help, but the help is very different than what you would imagine. Murkoff asks if you want to go through some bullshit, and you say yes. Afterwards, you are brought to the Farewell Mansion. This mansion serves as a tutorial on how to play the basics of the game. Enemies can't see in the dark, night vision has a battery, heavy objects slow you down, psychosis is relieved you by antidotes, how to heal, etc. If you've played a game before, it'll be easy to pick up on basic game mechanics. As you go through the mansion, Easterman tells you to forget your life, your animal instincts, to forget what made you weak, and embrace what will make you strong. Sorry, I slipped into Easterman there. Top tier poetry, I must say. You also destroy your public and private records, effectively erasing your existence so that Murkoff can plop you into the world later with no conflicts about your life. Or, you know, if you die, nobody will come looking for you since you don't legally exist. That sounds like a Max Fosh video. After that, you simply leave through a shuttle and enter the sleep room. The desert is just like our reagents. Unwanted, unloved. It will be the perfect place for Lathy. Before we talk about where you just arrived, let's talk about the Sinlaya facility as a whole. The Sinlaya facility is a series of warehouses or trial environments all connected by an underground shuttle system. When reagents enter the facility, they will be in Project Lathy 2. The first Project Lathy consisted of trying to brainwash Mount Massive asylum patients, which failed. Easterman attributed this failure to the amount of trauma the patients of Mount Massive already held, and that new, devoid of trauma patients were needed to make Lathy successful. Whilst this idea has worked, it has also prompted many reagents to try and escape Sinlaya, with someone who was successful, whom we'll talk about later. Reagents need some comfort, some sense of progression. What's more traumatic than gashing wounds and blistering infections? Feeling unsafe in your own home. Now let's talk about where you've just arrived, new reagent. The Sleep Room. It's essentially the lobby of this game. You can play chess, arm wrestle, but instead of raw strength, it's a Dead by Daylight timing. Play digital tennis, and do the trippy Stroop test. Meet the denizens of the facility. Barlow the pharmacist will give you prescriptions that make surviving the trials much easier, or for imposters, disrupting the trials. Noakes is the engineer who provides rigs that are vital to surviving encounters with enemies, or disengaging chase. Doris traffics amps that give reagents specific advantages in trials. Prescriptions are basic buffs like more stamina, regenerating health, and faster door bashing. Rigs, amps, and prescriptions are bought with Murkoff vouchers, which are earned from leveling up. Rigs and amps I will get into the specifics of later. In your cell, you can customize to your heart's content. Change your genetics in seconds with one push of a button. If only I could do that in real life. Customize your cell to be in season, out of season, or just a confusing mess. All cosmetics are obtained from either the catalogs, task, or the black market. Currency, such as stamps or event coins, can be obtained from playing trials and doing tasks. Murkoff coins are either bought through catalogs with stamps or bought with real money. Last but not least, we have the Rebirth Gate. The way out is just within your reach, but escape will not be so easy. Survive the trials, earn 100 Rebirth tokens, and Murkoff will let you out. Life gives you lemons. You use the carcass of the lemon as a sour cup holder for their other drinks. The reagents cannot kill without consequence. They must feel fear. They must bleed. Without blood, there is no therapy. Without experiments, there are no eggs to make omelets. Before we talk about the trials, I need to discuss everything you can do before a trial and what you can find during a trial. We'll start off with enemies. General X-Pops, or experimental population, are the normal patrolling enemies of the game, which is a good way to talk about specific mechanics of the game. All enemies try to attack you by predicting your movement. If you try to simply run past an enemy, they will quickly swing to deal damage, but you can just back up or jump back to avoid this. Sometimes enemies will do charge attacks or grab attacks. You can outrun most enemies in the game just by sprinting. You'll typically take damage when being cornered, or running out of stamina at an unfortunate time. Unless it's Franco. Then you'll be taking damage no matter what. Enemies can't see you in the dark, but they can see you in the light even when they are standing in the dark. All enemies have stamina, some more than others, and when they run out of stamina, they significantly slow down. Voice lines for when they run out, or are close to running out of stamina, will play. Also, touching any enemies alerts them, so no getting weird with the insane murderers. Back to General Grunts, they deal average damage and are slower than you in chase, like most enemies are in this game, and there really isn't much to them besides being the average of enemies. Moving on to Big Grunts, these heavy X-Pops are less frequent in the trials, but pack way more of a punch. They deal more damage than regular Grunts, break down locked doors in 2 hits, one if they have an axe, and are stunned for less time. Big Grunts do run a little slower than regular Grunts, and they take longer to climb over obstacles. Big Grunts also cannot crawl under crawl spaces, but they can still grab you, so be careful. The Berserker is a blind version of the Big Grunt. They rely solely on sound to find you, and as such are super sensitive to noise. They tend to stick to one area and rarely open doors to get to you. They also cannot search hiding spots. Berserkers will sometimes swing wildly around, so be careful while you're close to them, or you could get half your health taken away. I know the footage shows only 1 bar of health getting taken away. That's because I was playing on standard. Screamers are the little shits of this game. They make a loud snoring noise, and when woken up by either a very loud noise or constant quiet noises, they scream and then run off to another spot where they will fall asleep. When caught in this scream, your vision will distort and you cannot run. If you are close enough and are carrying a heavy object, the object will be dropped. Nearby X-Pops are alerted by the scream. If a screamer is hit with a brick, bottle, a stunnable, throwable, they will run off without screaming. After being alerted 3 times, screamers will permanently leave the trial. If a screamer begins making waking noises, wow, say that 3 times fast, making waking, I did it, they will stop making noise and go back to sleep. The Night Hunter is an X-Pop with night vision goggles stuck to his face. He breathes heavily and often says voice lines letting you know his location, which is ironic for someone that will crouch down and wait to ambush you. If it wasn't obvious, he can see in the dark, but he can't see in the light. If the Night Hunter is in a light area, he cannot see into dark areas. Night Hunters are typically found patrolling dark areas. Also, I love the Night Hunter's voice lines.
I wonder if they make these for looking through corners.
What's the equipment?
You can't hide, you sure can't hide from the man with the X-ray eyes. Night vision.
The Pouncer is the worst of the worst when running away from enemies. Pouncers will hide in hiding spots, making a constant laughing and grunting noise. If a reagent gets too close to a Pouncer's hiding spot, the Pouncer will jump them, and the reagent either has to button mash them off or use a brick or ball to instantly get them off. If you lose a certain amount of health, the Pouncer will automatically get off. Afterwards, the Pouncer will rush off and find a new hiding spot. If you are caught by a Pouncer while being chased against normal AI enemies, it's not the biggest deal, as the AI waits a couple seconds before attacking you after you get free. What you want to worry about are player-controlled imposter. If they catch you getting pounced on, they can prepare their one-hit kill attack for when you escape the Pouncer. Hitting a Pouncer's hiding spot with a throwable will make the Pouncer leave the hiding spot to find a new one. The amount of time to escape a Pouncer's grab is scaled based on how many reagents are in a trial. The next few X-Pops are called Special X-Pops because they come out of insertion gates and only remain in the trial for a limited amount of time. Pushers are the comedians of this game. If a pusher catches you, they will spray their psychosis gas on you, removing all sanity and forcing the reagent to enter psychosis. Psychosis happens when you lose all 3 bars of sanity. Sanity can be drained from traps or barriers. When you lose 1 bar of sanity, periodically your vision will adjust and sounds will distort and become echoey, including other players' voices. Whenever you lose 2 bars, the frequency of these moments will increase and tentacles will rise above the ground. If you get too close to these tentacles, they will hit you for a small amount of damage. When you lose all your sanity, you enter psychosis. In psychosis, the Skinner Man, along with tentacles, will rise above the ground and the Skinner Man will chase you. If the Skinner Man gets close enough, he will begin doing rapid damage. If you get far enough away from him, he will teleport closer to you. You can get a sense of his location based on where veins on the walls are forming. Either you outlast psychosis or use an antidote to cure it. The Pitcher is the most dangerous special X-Pop. They wield a Molotov and fire-breathing mask. If a reagent is at range, the Pitcher will throw a Molotov, which will create an area of damage for a limited time. If the Pitcher hears a loud noise, they will automatically throw a Molotov at the source of the sound. If a reagent tries to run past a Pitcher or is close enough, he will use his fire-breathing mask to hurt you. Pitchers have an increased FOV in the dark due to their fire around them. You know, fire makes light. What do you know? When a pitcher finds you in a hiding spot, he will burn you with his mask. And funnily enough, in car trunks, it might be other hiding spots, I'm not entirely sure, he will slam the trunk on you after he breathes on you, which I don't know why that's funny to me. Pitchers have a limited amount of fuel, retreating once they run out. It's harder to exhaust a pitcher's fuel than it is to just run away and wait out their insertion time, so just wait them out. NPC imposters only spawn when 2 or more reagents are present, or the imposter modifier is applied to the trial. Imposters will make a rapid breathing noise and have the same name of the player they are impersonating, but it is spelled wrong. Imposters will try to act normal. When close, they will crouch walk towards you, offer an item, use a ping wheel option, etc. If an imposter gets close enough, they will pull out a knife, grab you, and stab you. You can jump out of the grab range once an imposter brandishes their knife. If hit with a stunnable throwable, kicked off a grab, or they miss their grab attack, imposters will rush to an insertion gate and leave the trial. As of the most recent update, imposters can now grab you out of hiding spots, after which they will leave the trial. Lastly, we have the woman, the myth, the bringer of noise that makes your face shrivel and your balls shrink. It's the Jaeger! The Jaeger will insert into the trial with a loud alarm noise. She targets one reagent and knows their location at all times. And she will only switch her target when her target is killed. The Jaeger will only attack non-targeted reagents if they stand in her way. If the Jaeger catches her target, she will grab them and instantly kill them. Once the Jaeger's time in the trial is up, she will travel to an insertion gate and ignore any reagents. The Jaeger can be forced to leave the trial early by going into a space that cannot be accessed by her, such as confined rooms that can only be accessed by crawl spaces or liftable doors. Once the Jaeger leaves a trial, she cannot reappear, unless you have the permanent Jaeger modifier. The Jaeger does a slow shamble towards her target, but make sure not to get cornered or else you'll be relying on your amps and teammates to save you from death. Only the barricade rig has a notable effect on the Jaeger's speed. All other rigs barely slow her down. Oh, also, fun fact, the Jaeger can break down co-op doors. So that's helpful if you don't have Smash. Let's briefly talk about the Jaeger's lore, as it is a tragic one. I'll be taking this from the Jaeger document in the evidence. A twice repurposed reagent. Henrietta Grubbs was originally interred at the Sinlaya facility as a part of Lathi 2 therapy. After severe physical trauma and a display of remarkable resilience, Miss Grubbs was given hormonal treatment and I can't say that, guys. And reintroduced into the trials as a heavy X-Pop, or the Big Grunts. After demonstrating a lack of susceptibility to the influence of prime assets, Miss Grubbs again experienced remarkable physical trauma and, presumed dead, was sent to biohazard processing, where she managed to survive for months, even after her food source was cut off. Following the events surrounding the escape of Amelia Collier, Miss Grubbs' survival was discovered, and she was further improved to her current form. Henrietta also dated our lovely amps trafficker Doris, so there's some pride for you. Honestly terrifying to see the effects that therapy has on everyone, and especially how it can destroy a reagent's mind as far as turning it into the order-following Jaeger we see now. Now for the best section to edit. Items. Items can be found throughout the trial. Some have specific spots they can only spawn in, and once items are used, they cannot be brought back. Bricks spawn on these red brick dust-covered areas. Bricks can be used twice before breaking, and when thrown at the environment like a regular wall, it will not take any durability damage. Due to this environmental invincibility for bricks, it's best to use them to push pouncers out of hiding spots, or trigger sound traps. such as windows or hanging cameras. Bricks are automatically destroyed when used to escape a pouncer or imposter's grasp. Bricks also stun longer than bottles, making them a great tool to get past someone. Headshots with bricks bottles stun enemies longer. Feel free to give more trauma to the X-Pops, because they definitely deserve more of it. Bottles are the lesser brothers of bricks. Whatever bottles do, bricks do better, except for distractions. Bottles are only really useful for distractions or for just a quick stun. I recommend keeping at least one bottle or brick on you at all times, especially if you have invasion turned on, because if an imposter stabs you and you don't have a brick, you're just dead. Congratulations. When thrown, bottles will make a loud crashing noise that attracts X-Pops. Use it if you need to get an X-Pop away from an objective, or need to get them to stop walking towards you in the dark. Now I guess is a good time to talk about sound levels. There are 3 sound levels. An indicator can be turned on in the settings, which will tell you the sound level being made by you, and will turn red when an enemy can hear the noise you are making. This first level is just walking or pulling out a door trap battery. Simple things. Enemies will usually have to hear level 1 noises for multiple seconds before reacting to them. Level 2 noises are mainly for running, jumping, and opening doors. Sometimes enemies will immediately react to these noises, other times they won't. The distance from the noise determines the amount of time it will take for them to react. Level 3 noises are reserved for screamers, sound traps, pushing objectives like the snitch, and ramming doors. Enemies will always react to these noises and go to its source. Enemies will only ignore noises if they can see a reagent, so throwing a bottle in the dark while being chased can cause the chaser to redirect their attention to the noise. Antidotes refill any missing sanity and immediately end psychosis. If you are prone to stepping on gas mines, always carry an antidote. And antidotes can also be used to cure Aurora's chemical poisoning, ignoring damage and vomiting. Lockpicks can be used to open padlock doors or padlock containers. When using a lockpick, a minigame will play where you have to hit the Great Skill Check, another Dead by Daylight minigame, oh my god. If you hit a red area, you take minor damage. If you hit 3 green areas, the padlock is open and the lockpick is destroyed. Lock containers always guarantee good stuff unless the lock container's variator is applied. Locked medkits will always have a large medicine and typically a bandage. Locked mechanical boxes always contain a rig recharger and often a large battery. Large medicines and rig rechargers are only found in locked containers. Unlocked medkit containers can have adrenaline, bandages, small medicines, and antidote. Unlocked mechanical boxes can have both small and large batteries. There are 3 types of healables. Large medicines heal you completely, bandages heal you for 2 bars of health and stop any bleeding, and small medicines heal for 1 health. There are 2 types of batteries. Large batteries completely refill night vision, and small batteries refill about a third. Adrenaline will give you infinite stamina, faster push and carry speed, faster speed overall, somewhat distorted sound, and blurred peripheries. Adrenaline is among one of the worst items in the game, as you typically have enough stamina to outrun anything, and its use is mostly situational. If you're playing Invasion, it might come in use if an imposter catches you with less stamina, but even then, an imposter slash gives you stamina. I only recommend keeping adrenaline on you when the trial involves pushing a cart, like grind the bad apples or kill the snitch. Our last item is syringes. Syringes can be found in emergency boxes. Smash open the box to get a revive for a teammate. Syringes are replaced with respawn pills in solo that increase your respawn limit by 1. The trials don't just have items though, they also have many environmental hazards that help enemies find and kill you, but sometimes these hazards can be turned against them. Glass shards can be found on the floor throughout the entire trial. Running or walking over them will make a level 3 noise. Crouch walking will make a level 2 noise. It's best to either crouch vault over something beside the glass to get over it, to make no noise, or to just jump over the shards entirely to avoid alerting enemies. Hanging sound traps are cans or babies that make a level 3 noise once touched. You can usually crouch under them. Crest chemical hanging traps are hanging vials of chemicals, wow, what do you know, that whenever touched by a reagent, will drop and cause the reagent to become nauseous. After a short time, unless cured by an antidote, the reagent will throw up, make a level 2 noise, and take minor damage. This trap can be knocked down by throwables, but try to position yourself to where you'll hit the most traps, as if only one trap is hit by the throwable you're throwing, then only that vial will fall. Gas mines make a beeping sound that gets faster the closer you get to them. They have a really tiny hitbox, so you can typically shimmy your way around one, or just jump over it. When triggered, they give 2 levels of insanity. They can be disarmed by bottles, bricks, and the stun rig. Enemies do not trigger them, but if you trigger a gas mine when an enemy is next to one, the enemy will be staggered. Gas traps are hidden in unlocked medicine and mechanical boxes. They will trigger after a short period of time and give you 1 level of insanity if you stay in range. If you walk into the gas after it's triggered, you'll still lose sanity. But you only have to wait maybe 3 seconds before the gas dissipates, and even then you can just grab the item from outside the gas range. Gas traps can be disarmed by either the jammer rig or the stun rig. Duck traps are ducks that explode after standing next to them for too long. You can stand just out of the harming range to trigger the trap and not take damage. The trap makes a level 3 noise when it explodes, and if an enemy is within the explosive range, they will be staggered. Duck traps only appear in Mother Gooseberry's trials. Oh, also, forgot to mention earlier, just realized this during editing, the Crest chemical traps, hanging traps, they only appear during the Twins trials. Door traps are shown by a red light on the door, on the frame of the door, or just the trap itself being there. If you open them while standing, they will knock you to the ground and use button mash to get it out. If you take too long, the trap will dispense gas and give you 1 level of insanity. Enemies cannot damage you during this minigame, and much like the Pouncer, after you get free, they will wait a second before attacking you. Opening trap doors while crouching will trigger the trap, but the trap will miss you. If a fellow reagent is standing in the trap's range, when triggered, they can be knocked to the ground, even if you are crouched. The time it takes to free yourself is scaled by how many reagents are in the trial, but a fellow reagent can help get the trap out. Opening the door slowly will not trigger the trap. Disarming the door causes a brief level 1 noise and gives you a small battery. There's 1 secret room per main trial that requires 2 people to hold down 2 buttons on nearby walls to be opened. Solar requires you press both buttons within a time limit. Secret rooms contain a master key that is an infinite use lockpick and gives no unlocking minigame, a health booster, stamina booster, and battery booster, and a surplus of rig rechargers and big healths. All the boosters they boost what they say they boost, so if you didn't get that from them being called a health booster, you ain't cut out to play any game except Stardew Valley. Propaganda posters are found on the walls of the trials, and once they are collected, 5 for 2 reagents and up, you get a boost to your grade and are allowed to get an A+. Now's a good time to talk about grades. After you complete a trial, you receive a grade based on how well you performed. Anything marked in red brought your grade down. Everything else brings it up. Since time spent in a trial doesn't affect your grade, if you're aiming for an A+, it's best to be just constantly using items you come across, like bottles to disarm traps, using door trap batteries, and the useless adrenaline you always find when you need an antidote. Don't forget to complete the secondary objective, otherwise you can't earn an A+. Murkoff files are files littered around the map. They contain lore about the game. All of your documents can be found in the Evidence tab. They sit as a blue folder on top of other red folders that other reagents can collect. I highly recommend reading these files as you come across them because this game has a lot of files and the lore of everything is actually pretty interesting. These documents can also be kind of funny. For example, Easterman says, "The son he saw had an enormous cock." What? What? This is when Easterman was high on on Crest chemicals and reagent piss, or not reagent piss, ecpop piss. Barricaded doors are blue lock doors that cannot be rammed open. You must lift the barricade on the other side to open the door. Enemies cannot unlock or lock the door, but can open if it is unlocked. Oh, that's right, the thing you'll be going through and closing a lot on enemies. Doors! Doors that are not trapped can be locked. Enemies besides giants and prime assets take multiple hits, usually 3, to open locked doors, or ram them. Locked doors can be rammed or unlocked by you. Once a locked door is rammed, it can no longer be locked. The best way to use doors in a chase is simply running through them and closing them. You'll do a quick animation where you close the door behind you and keep moving forward. Since enemies have a decently long door opening animation for a chase, it's the easiest way to lose them since the closed door also breaks line of sight. Holding down left click as you close a door will auto-lock it, skipping the part where you have to look at the lock to lock it. Wow, that was a lot of locks. Electric traps are on the ground and can be broken by either stepping on it when it is on, or breaking it with a brick, bottle, or rig. Electric traps turn on and off. They will make a beeping sound before turning on and will slow you down when damaging you. If you don't care about your grade, stepping on the trap briefly will disarm the trap without incurring too much damage. Electric traps only appear in coil trials. Tripwire traps are explosive laser-triggered traps that, when triggered, take away a decent chunk of health and knock you to the ground. I know the footage, it only takes away 1 bar of health. That's because I didn't apply the Deadlier Traps modifier. It takes away like half your health with that modifier, which is typical of standard and up. Using a throwable on one of the sensors destroys the trap. Tripwires only appear in Franco's trials. Insertion gates are white doors that ring out an alarm when an enemy is about to come through it. Imposters, pushers, regular enemies that are about to spawn and begin patrolling or need to fast travel back to their patrolling area, Jesus, that was a mouthful, and prime assets can emerge from these doors. You also come out of the insertion gate when you die in solo.
This up your fucking ass. This is beneath me. I'm gonna open you right out.
Gates must be lifted to be opened. When playing with other people, the gate's time to open is significantly increased, but other players can alleviate this slowed down speed by opening the gate together. Once open, the gates will stay open for about 5 seconds unless they are held open by a reagent. Then the timer resets. Enemies can grab you if you are close enough to the opening of an open gate. Enemies cannot crawl under gates. Flamethrowers are only included in the flamethrower and deep burn variator. They make a noise before going off and do a considerable amount of damage if you're caught in its path. You can destroy flamethrowers with the usual throwables. The jammer rig does not turn the trap against enemies and just destroys it. Hiding spots can be almost any dark or empty spot. Enemies, besides X-Ray Man, can't see you in the dark, so try to avoid colliding with an enemy in a dark room. If you are too close to an enemy, their vision can adjust in the dark and they will be able to see you within a short distance. So once again, stay away from the murderers. Hiding spots can be lockers, desks, empty barrels, car trunks, etc. Enemies can randomly search these and will usually try to search spots where they last saw you. But enemies never search your hiding spot unless they see you go into it. If a locker or freezer has 2 sides, enemies can search the side you are not on and will not grab or detect you. By the way, in the footage, if you've seen me just go into hiding spots and you're like, why do you do that? There's no reason, there's no enemies around. It's because of the way I'm editing this video, and because enemies don't search hiding spots unless they see you go into them. Currently, I'm just staring at a barrel, listening to this game while recording my lines and then editing the footage in. So, shut up, pusher. Alarm doors are doors that will summon an enemy from an insertion gate as soon as you open them. It cannot be rearmed and will summon a grunt or giant that will re-enter the insertion gate after a while. The only way to disarm alarm doors is via the jammer rig. Kicking is something you can do when another teammate of the group is grabbed. You can kick a pouncer off an ambush reagent, when a prime asset or imposter grabs someone, and when an enemy is executing a downed teammate. Kicking allows less damage to be done to your fellow reagents. and for player-controlled imposters, it hurts them. Co-op boosts are ledges that require one person to boost or grab, and another to jump up. Some boost ledges can only take one person over, but there's usually a barricaded door on the other side that can be unlocked. Co-op doors are double doors that require two people to be ready to ram at the same time to open it. It doesn't matter what side either player is on. The only way a co-op door can be opened without another person is by either having the smash amp or if the Jaeger rams open the door. Dead reagent bodies hold common items like bottles or lockpicks, or they will have a battery that you can take from their night vision. It will sometimes jump scare you. Wowee, that was everything, and my voice gave out while doing this section, so that's nice. Well, now that we know what's in the trials, let's finally move... Oh. Yeah, we gotta talk about every rig and amp now, don't we? I mean, it's what you go into the trials with, and are pretty important gameplay elements. I guess the trials are gonna have to wait for another 15 minutes. Rigs are rechargeable tools that massively help you survive in the trials. All these rigs will be reviewed at their max level. The stun rig is a battery that you throw at your friends. Don't worry, that was beneficial, because if you are in the blast radius of stun, your stamina and battery are refilled. This rig is very good for taking care of many traps at once, like gas mines and tripwires, which includes power sources for things like the barriers and grind the bad apples. And it's also the only throwable in the game that stuns prime assets and giants for more than half a second, so it makes a pretty good jack-of-all-trades tool. The blast radius is huge, so you can try and combo traps and enemies. It has a decent cooldown of 170 seconds without modifiers, easily one of the best rigs in the game due to its long stun duration and instant use. The heal rig is a gas canister full of healing gas. Just twist the valve and inhale gas that somehow heals the hole in your mouth and cures psychosis. It can also briefly slow down enemies, so the medic of the crew is actually good at running offense. The gas has a radius, so you can share it with your friends as you activate it. Or be selfish and only use it on yourself, you greedy bastard. While the rig is active, any sanity drain or nausea from the twins or traps is automatically negated. The rig has a cooldown of 144 seconds, making it commonly available when you or your team need it. The blind rig is a plantable mine. Just take 2 years to arm it and plop it on the ground, and it will explode when an enemy steps on it. The explosion releases a big cloud of smoke that enemies cannot see you in, even if you are touching them. Use blind at critical points like the cranks and spoil the option, or the switches and kill the snitch, for an easy time doing the objective. The cloud also gives you adrenaline, so carrying or pushing stuff faster can be comboed with getting an enemy off your tail. Blind has a cooldown of 144 seconds, making it commonly available for an easy setup key-state chase. Oh yeah, the mine also rearms after being activated the first time, so that makes it effectively one of the best rigs, if not the best rig, in the game. X-Ray, a tool for someone that desires information over safety. The X-Ray gives you a scan of every item, poster, trap, and enemy within a certain range, making it the best thing for hunting items to help yourself. X-Ray also recharges a bit of night vision when used, and since it has a short cooldown of 36 seconds, you'll always be knowing where enemies and items are. X-Ray can also be used for to find objectives like key bodies and kill the snitch. Imposters look similar to teammates in X-Ray, but if you're playing solo, it makes it easy to avoid imposters. Easily the worst rig in the game since you tend to find items with game sense, but it's great for helping friends avoid running into enemies when they first start out. Also, the X-Ray rig can be used to farm the absolute hell out of grades. I don't know how the game determines using the X-Ray rig successfully. Maybe it's like every item that was scanned with the X-Ray rig that you touch is considered using successfully. Like I said, I'm not sure. But, like, I died one time, and I still got an A+. Barricade is either your favorite rig or you've never used it. Simply put a blockade on a door or door frame or window, and effectively end chase since enemies take forever to break the barricade. You can have a maximum of 2 barricades up at once, and when set, barricades will destroy door locks and door traps, regardless of their condition. When the barricade is broken, the breaker will be pinged. Honestly, not much else to it but light information. Oh, right, this game has a pinging system. If you ping enemies, the ping lingers on them for a bit, making pinging enemies a, like I said before, light information for everyone in your team. You can say hi to your fellow imposters, wag your finger at a blinded enemy. The fun never ends. Back to Barricade. When ran by a teammate, the barricade will break in one hit, and the cooldown will be halved. Barricade has a short cooldown of 36 seconds, making it a constant on-demand chase ender. The Jammer Rig is our last rig. This hacking device allows reagents to turn the trial environment against enemies. Hacking traps will cause enemies to trigger them instead of you, and the traps will stun them. Jammer can also corrupt enemies, making it so that they vomit periodically 3 times, allowing for an easy escape or work on an objective. Jammer can also unlock padlocks, allowing for easy access to heals and rigging charges when needed. When jamming a trap, it will not trigger. One of the best features of Jammer, aside from the trap repurposing, is the Pacemaker upgrade. It allows reagents with Jammer to revive themselves and a teammate once per trial, and to be clear, that means you can revive yourself once and a teammate once in the same trial. Jammer has 3 cooldown times, 45 seconds, 60 seconds, and 90 seconds. Reagents can see how long the cooldown will be based on how many lights are lit up over a hackable thing. Also, the more lights lit up, the slower the rate of jamming will be. Jammer is probably the best rig in the game due to its utility in everything. It can be a free revive twice, it can retrieve medicine or rig rechargers, it can be an objective smoothing tool, and it can be a trap setting chase ender. One of the more niche uses of Jammer is using it to open rolling gates. It keeps the gate open for a period of time before reclosing it. Simple. This use is only really good as a shortcut on Poison the Cattle, since it's like the only gate in the game that can only be opened from one side. Otherwise, you can usually just find a way around a rolling gate. It's kind of like barricaded doors, you know, the unbreakable doors. There's always a way around it. Now that you've learned about rigs, let's move on to amps. Amps are sold by Doors in the cafeteria, with the reagent having to reach a certain level before being able to purchase them. You can only have 1 amp per category equipped, with the categories being Tool, Skill, and Medicine. Starting with tools, we have slippers. Slippers make it to where you have no noise when walking or crouching over glass, but not if you're running. It also doesn't apply the noise trap triggered penalty. Special note, I just found out, walking over glass with slippers does not prevent bleeding damage from the sharp glass variator. Fun! Cacophony, I think that's how you say it, makes bricks and bottles louder, making bricks an actual tool for distraction. Pretty simple amp. Noise reduction is my personal favorite amp. It reduces sound from running and opening doors, making it very good for speedrunning and just moving around in general, as you'll attract less attention from enemies. Battery charger is useless. It slowly recharges night vision battery when night vision isn't being used, which is only good for one variator, that being no mechanical items. And even then, you could bring X-ray or stun for battery recharging, and even then, as long as the trial has door traps, you have small batteries you can use. Lock breaker is alright. When a brick is thrown at a padlock, the padlock will break and consume the durability of the brick. All in all, there are better uses for bricks, but if you're itching for heals or want to have a rig recharger instead of a brick, this amp isn't the worst. Recycle is the meta perk of Invasion at the moment. When drinking a health bottle, you'll get a bottle in return. Pretty good in general, as having any type of stun is always good, and with health bottles being plentiful, it increases the amount of throwables tenfold. Keymaster is another meh amp. It reduces the lockpicking minigame to 1 success and makes every lockpick have 2 uses instead of 1. Only really good for one variator, which is lock containers, and if you're running Jammer, this amp is useless. Backpack is so simple, yet so good. It gives a reagent 1 inventory slot. More stuff to haul around means more bricks to put in the pusher's face.
Let me help. Okay, you got me.
Short Circuit looks like a really good amp, but it's not amazing. Small batteries, when used, reduce the cooldown of a rig by 10%, while large batteries reduce it by 25%. You usually aren't using enough batteries to make this amp meaningful, and constantly using batteries to reduce the cooldown of your rig is very tedious. So this amp is not very good. Moving on to skills, we have Hide and Breathe. This amp is god-awful, except for one variator, and even then it's terrible, which the variator being no running. When entering a hiding spot, stamina immediately regenerates and you receive an adrenaline boost for 10 seconds. There's no situation where this is useful, except for maybe when the exit rush variator is applied, or maybe when needing to push something a little faster. It can't be used in chase, though, because entering and exiting a hiding spot will take too long, and the chaser will easily hit you. Overall, never run this amp. Hide and Heal is the better brother who wins all the awards of Hide and Breathe. When hiding, one bracket of health will be restored, along with instant bleed stopping and immediate health regeneration. Get hit by Gooseberry, close the door behind you, and heal all that damage up lickety-split. Hide and Heal's heal bracket restoration effect is only recharged when taking at least 1 bar of damage. Really good amp, do not sleep on it when going into any barriers that involve bleeding or going into a Gooseberry trial. Also, don't pass this amp up during escalation. Hide and Restore. Wow, they really had a field day with hiding spots, didn't they? This amp reduces the cooldown of rigs by 50% when hiding in a hiding spot, meaning you can camp a hiding spot and cut a heal rig's cooldown in half. When you exit a hiding spot, the cooldown goes back to its normal rate. A good amp for people who have patience, hide a lot, and rely often on their rigs. Quick Escape is alright. After taking damage, a portion of stamina is regenerated, and you gain a speed boost for 10 seconds. Since chases are easy enough to escape from even after taking damage, this amp is only helpful if you're cornered and out of stamina. Invisible is useless if you have ears. Enemies can't see you peek from hiding spots. That's it. Don't waste this amp slot for something that can be substituted with ears. Door Trap Breaker. This one's fun. Door traps automatically break when a trap door is opened normally, and automatically disarmed when opened slowly. Useful in chases if you're in an area you haven't disarmed. Smash is just the best amp of skills, no questions asked. Any barricaded or locked doors are broken in one hit, and cult doors can be broken by yourself. Congratulations, all chases are easy unless you get hit by a trap or pounced, or cornered. Smash just makes escaping a chase really easy because locked doors are no longer a concern anymore. Strong Arm is the beloved amp of early access. Bricks and bottles stun enemies for longer, with the downside of bricks being destroyed immediately when hitting an enemy. Bottles become a great offensive tool now, so this amp is really good for when you're cornered or you need to give the pusher even more trauma. Evasive Maneuvers is a pretty good amp. When grabbed, you immediately escape and take less damage. This means that when the Jaeger grabs you, you can just take no damage and run away from her since she deals all her damage with one punch. Also useful against pouncers, so if you're prone to getting pounced, use this amp. The final category is medicine. Starting off, we have double doses. Syringes can be used twice, and respawn pills give 2 revives instead of the usual 1. Another perk of the invasion meta, since during invasion, there are less syringes around the map. Also useful for when newer players enter psychosurgery for the first time. Antitoxin is good for beginners, useless for veterans. Every minute a sanity bar is restored, and psychosis lasts half as long. Good for if you step on a lot of gas traps, but experienced players are more aware of mines even in chase, so this is really only useful for beginners. Surplus is useless except in escalation. You start the trial with either a medicine bottle, antidote, bottle, or brick. Not very good since you can find these in the trial environment. And you only get one of these, so just a bad amp. Last Chance is the runner-up to Smash for being the best amp. Instead of taking a fatal blow, be reduced to 1 HP. Its 5-minute cooldown is generous for its effect. Use this in Psychosurgery. Incognito is another alright amp. It gives a flat 30% increase to crouch walking speed. Makes it easier to maneuver around enemies in the dark, but that's about it. Good Job is good on paper, bad in practice. When finishing an objective or side objective, heal for 1 bracket of health. Its 2-minute cooldown aims to prevent easy objectives such as enter the orphanage and then tuning the radio from giving rapid amounts of health for little things, but it shoots itself in the foot by only giving 1 bracket. If it gave 2, then it would be a good amp, but Hide and Heal does that and more on a 10-second cooldown, with the minor clause of needing to take just a little bit of damage. So, overall, use Hide and Heal and not Good Job. Boosted is the upgraded version of Surplus. Start a trial with a random booster. Overall pretty good, unless you get battery, then you wasted a slot. Self-Revive is the lesser version of Last Chance. When you die, similar to Jammer, you revive yourself for free once per trial. The sad part about this amp is that you cannot be revived with syringes. You have to use the amp. Otherwise, a good amp that gives you a second chance at a trial. Also, very good in escalation. Bandage Expert is really good. Bandages apply faster and can be used twice, effectively making any bandage you find a large medicine because it can fully heal you. Highly recommended for bleed variators and gooseberry trials if you're not using Hide and Heal. Whoa, that was a long list of rigs and amps. But now that you know the ins and outs of everything before and inside a trial, we can now finally get into every single one of them. This is going to be a long section. Select a trial through the terminal and enter the shuttle. In the shuttle, Easterman gives you a cryptic rundown of the trial and then pumps you full of psychosis gas. My favorite. Before you enter the trial, you can change your loadout. Enter the turnstile to enter the trial. Now, I will be reviewing every trial at the intensive difficulty level, which has the variators increased threat, more deadly traps, limited intel, limited items, and limited hide spots. These variators give a nice balanced difficulty and enjoyment of the trials. If you go into Psychosurgery, prepare for everything to hurt you. These trials will also be reviewed from the solo perspective. Expect objectives to be scaled up when playing in a group.
You are the exterminator. Only we can tell you what is true. There is a snitch inside the prison, preparing to testify against our truth. Kill the snitch, and we will let you out.
Welcome to the police station. The goal of this trial is to find the snitch and kill him, if the name wasn't obvious enough. First things first, get into the police station. You can do that either through the jail entrance or the truck. Either way, you'll funnel into the desk offices area, where a one-way co-op boost is with a barricaded door just on the other side. Just make your way to the security room and unlock the jail block.
Can't get in.
Sergeant Leland Coyle, my beloved. Coyle is a KKK member and a police officer highly obsessed with electricity. He also might be gay. I mean, just listen to some of these voice lines. Most of Coyle's wives died soon after marrying him, and Coyle is apparently an extremely effective policeman. Enormous profit from exploitation of prison labor, extortion, and civil forfeiture. I hate the English language. I know I just called him my beloved. Aside from him having insane charisma, I can fix him, okay? Just give me 3 more years in the trial. I can fix him, damn it. Gameplay-wise, Coyle wields an electric cattle prod, and when Coyle hits you, your rig is disabled for 30 seconds. Back to the snitch. Get to the snitch and start pushing.
I just can't.
By the way, if you want a more detailed description of every Prime asset, the creator Happy Heart makes some good videos. I watched The Psychology of Leland Coyle, and I said, yeah, he can make that video. I'm not writing this into my script. So yeah, him. If you want more lore on Prime assets than I do, which is not much. Coyle turned off the power, which means you can't push the snitch. Well, now we have to go down to the basement and turn the generators on. Ah yes, generators. To fix a generator, you have to fill it with a gas can found around the trial, usually nearby. Then you fix the fuse boxes on the side of it. Fuse boxes are really simple to fix, so just find the switch that flicks on another switch at the same time, and then turn on all the other ones. After that, you crank the generator. Each crank makes a level 3 noise unless you miss it. Hitting a green area cranks the generator by 1/3, a yellow area cranks it up by about 1/8, and hitting a gray area drains the generator's crank by 1/3. Fix the generator while Coyle patrols, and make your way back to the snitch. When pushing the snitch, you will make a brief level 3 noise. Running and pushing the snitch will make the noise constant. If the snitch is left untouched for a while, he will begin to roll back. Push the snitch to the first gate and learn how to unlock the gate. On the TV, it tells you the symbol on the body that has the key in it. Fish through the body for the key, saw style, and unlock the gate. Every gate serves as a checkpoint that the snitch cannot roll past. You'll hear this noise when you've made it to a point that the snitch can't roll past. Now we make a giant U to the execution room. Unlock the 3 gates blocking your way with keys and bodies found in nearby areas. And what I mean by nearby areas is don't search for gate 3's key and gate 1's areas. So where the offices are, that's gate 1's area. Where the lobby area is and the outside area, that's gate 2's area. And the archives and the lab, the forensics lab, is gate 3's area. Finally, push the snitch into the electrocution chamber and kill him. This section is kinda hard if you don't have the right rig, due to the fact that a big grunt is constantly patrolling the snitch, which includes the execution room, as well as Coyle coming in and trying to stop you. Use the stun rig or blind mine, hell, even barricade to get your electrocution in. If you go into the red area when holding the switch, you'll begin to take damage. So if you let go of the switch for a second, but you'll rarely be on the switch long enough before Coyle or the big grunt interrupts you. Also, holding the switch makes a constant level 3 noise, and you'll really only get into the red area in a group because the electrocution takes longer if you're in a group. After killing the snitch, leave through the trial shuttle that you came in. MK challenges are trials that have a short objective. The map is usually condensed and many areas are closed off, with some new ones being opened up. Main trials tend to last around 20 to 30 minutes, while MK challenges can be done in as short as 5. But that varies widely from trial to trial, so don't think every MK trial is as short as 5 minutes. MK trials typically have you focus on doing one objective, then bringing that objective back to a central point. The objectives are usually aspects of the main trial applied to a different map and enemy pool. Our first MK trial is Cancel the Autopsy. Really simple objective: find the keys in their designated sectors and bodies. Put the keys into the switches and dispose of the body. Oh, those guys were alive. Oh, there's Coil. Time to leave. Sabotage the lockdown. This is my favorite MK challenge in the whole game, simply because you can do it in under 2 minutes. Take the gas canister from the beginning and take it to the generator across the basement. Power the generator and escape. Eliminate the Past is a unique trial. Find boxes of files around the basement and throw them in the shredder. The more boxes you shred, the easier your escape will be after the 7-minute timer is up. The threat level just means how many enemies will be spawned once time is up, so don't be too worried about it. You know, you can easily psych out the enemy AI. After the timer is up, regroup in the gym and hit the button to begin escape. The shuttle is auto-called, so just make your way from Sector A to Sector C and go to the same place you crawled out of and sabotage the lockdown. And you're out. Don't even have to push the button, don't even have to worry about Coil hitting you while you're pushing the button or waiting for the shuttle. You can just leave. Before we get into our next MK trial, I want to tell you about how to get rid of 2 common annoyances I personally get really annoyed with. The shuttle hallucination sequence is so damn loud. Simple fix: go into the menu. It'll muffle the noises and blur the screen so you don't have to see or hear anything very well. The second thing is the intro sequence that shows you the title of the trial and its variators. This really drags on after 100 hours, and the trumpets get annoying after 100 hours, especially if you have a lot of variators. Same fix as the first one. Simply just go into the menu as you enter the turnstile and it'll skip the sequence. Release the Prisoners is the first trial to separate everyone at the start. Find the key in your sector, turn it in at the security room. After all the keys are turned in, hit the button to release the prisoners. After that, you escape the same way you escaped and killed the snitch. In the corridor to the security room, Coil will be patrolling. In order to access other sectors without bashing the co-op door, you need to go through remote-controlled gates. Hold down the switch till all the lights light up, and then the gate will stay open for 10 seconds unless the switch is touched again, then the timer will reset. Next trial, please. Teach the Police Officers a big trial in size as it utilizes all 4 stories of the police station, but its length and to complete can be random. Take the key at the beginning and go to the projection room. Turn the key in to get 2 more keys. Find the gates and turn in their corresponding keys. Sometimes you'll get 2 more keys, other times you'll get nothing but heads. This trial features camera gates. If you're seen by the beam, the gate will close till you break line of sight, or smash the camera with a projectile. The camera does repair itself after a while though. Once you find the gate that has the film reel, you take it back up to the projector. Afterwards, exit the same way you came in, but be careful because Coil will spawn in and begin patrolling the exit. Seize the Narcotics is the last MK trial of the police station environment. This is another trial that spawns you apart. Make your way to the security room to grab pouches of cocaine. Stuff the pouches into the bodies until you meet your quota. Regroup at the corridor, press the button to open the door, and, well, when you press the button, it also auto-calls the shuttle, so that's nice. And then escape the same way you did in Kill the Snitch. Coil patrols the security room and the corridor. This trial features temporary gates. Pass under them 3 times, and the gate is closed forever, though jammers can reopen them for a period of time. Once they close, just find a different route. Consider bringing the backpack amp for this one, so you don't have to make as many trips to the security room.
must follow our mandates. Children will learn obedience. Shape them young, and they're ours for life. Teach the children. Give them first communion, and we will let you out.
Cleanse the Orphans is the most speedrunnable trial in the game, so I, like Sabotage the Lockdown, I actually like this trial. It also introduces us to some of the worst mechanics in the game. Real juxtaposing I did there. Enter the orphanage and watch Mother Gooseberry start the day. Mother Gooseberry, she is a character. Her father was a dentist, and Gooseberry did puppet shows for the kids to calm them down while they were being worked on. She got popular enough to get her own show, but after a while she started to spread some bad messages to children. Her show set was raided, and she was brought to a psych ward where Murkoff picked her up. Gooseberry has a puppet on her hand, Dr. Futterman, her father. Gooseberry gives the puppet a personality, talking to it as if it were her actual father, so she probably suffers from DID. Oh, that's right, the puppet has a drill! If hit by Gooseberry, you will suffer from bleeding. Bleeding can only be negated with bandages. If you drink health while bleeding, you will only restore what has been lost so far. Anyways, Gooseberry tells the children to have some cocaine for the morning, and we are not having that happen. For once, Murkoff is actually trying to do some good, even if it is by turning on religious radios to get the children aware. That's better than cocaine. Go up to the principal's office and learn about the worst thing in the game, radios. With radios, you want to get the white line to match the red line. Sometimes radios are really picky, other times they are very lenient. Either way, they are a pain in the ass to do. But the left knob increases and decreases the tallness of the line, the middle knob compresses and decompresses the line, and the right knob changes the position of the line. Once you successfully tune the radio, you must tune all the other radios on the floor. This board shows where the radios you need to tune are. The main way of accessing these rooms is through the rotation of the nuns. When a nun gets close to the door, the light on it will turn yellow. When they are close to the light, they will turn green and the door will open. The door will linger before closing. X-Pops can pass through these doors regardless of if a nun is near. Editor me here, or in-game me here, I think this is the only door in the game that doesn't have a lock on it and isn't trapped. I've never seen a door like it. After tuning the radios, go to the reception Gooseberry was once at and progress the day.
It's time for morning lessons. Please report to your homeroom class for a reading from 1 Corinthians.
Oh, never mind that, children. We're going to watch some fun movies.
Oh, and if you think about taking the shortcut of jumping down from the second floor, congratulations, you have now learned that this game has fall damage. Next thing you have to do is swap out the film reels of Gooseberry with the religious film reels. But I gotta say, Mother Gooseberry can write some bars. We are introduced to the next terrible mechanic, heavy item restriction gates. If you try passing through a gate with a heavy item, the door will shut. You have to put the heavy item on the turnstile and hit the button to swap it to your side, where you may then pick it up. This mechanic isn't bad in this trial, but it is just obnoxious in later trials. After swapping the reels, return the reception once again to progress the day.
It's time for Mass. Please report to the chapel for a reading in our afternoon prayers.
Oh, prayers won't help you anymore. We might as well have a party.
Now we head to the chapel. These children are having too much fun. Just stop the jukebox and they stop partying. Yeah, this isn't creepy at all. Sorry, children. Alright, what's oh. Remember when I said Murkoff was doing something nice for once? Yeah, no, this is about what I expected. Well, now we gotta sever the body of Christ, and there he hangs, and he hangs in more ways than one. In order to do that, we have to find the keys to unlock the handles of the saw. These are found in the bodies outside. Similar to the bodies in Kill the Snitch, the TVs tell you which bodies have the keys now. Once you unlock both handles, sever his legs. Sawing his legs makes a level 3 noise, but no enemies patrol close enough to hear, so don't worry about it. But we don't have any power to start communion. The children need power. Go down to the basement and fix that generator. Be careful though, a night hunter is down here. Just throw a stun rig in his face while you're fixing the generator. Alright, the children are eating good tonight, and now we can get out of here. Oh, hi Gooseberry, just gonna run this way, see ya!
To my child! Take it back!
Now let's get to the orphanage's MK trials. It is hard to say the word orphanages. First, we have Feed the Children. You have to pour 5 bottles of bleach into the soup. 2 are in the service area, 2 are in the chapel area, and the first one is given to you as like a tutorial. On the surface area side, 1 bleach is in the storage area, and the other is either in the pool area or the pool storage room. On the chapel side, 1 bleach bottle is in the chapel, and the other is in the chapel's basement. After pouring all the bleach bottles, serve the soup and realize what you've done. You poured bleach into children's soup. They may be mannequins, but leave the way you came, you monster. After poisoning these children, you feel a little guilty, and now you want to foster these orphans in the MK trial, Foster the Orphans. To get them into the care of Murkoff, you have to tune 5 radios scattered around the map to get the children and you out. Well, one of the radios isn't scattered, it's right next to the gate, but anyways, listen for the noises the radios make to find them easier. You leave to the shuttle entrance as Cleanse the Orphans. Now it's time to reunite the orphan with his family and reunite the family. Take him away from the orphanage, but oh no! Gooseberry closed the gate!
All adults are wicked, vile, disgusting killjoys! Murder them! Murder them all!
Now you have to fix 4 fuse boxes to open the gates to the key switches, then power up a generator to get the area with the key bodies. You can find the fuse box by following the wires. Fuse boxes, my bad. I hope you remember what those TVs said, cause you don't get a hint in the HUD. An alarm plays once you enter the cafeteria, in which Gooseberry will spawn and patrol. The kitchen the generator is in has a switch that opens one gate and closes the other. Very fun to play with since you can force Gooseberry to take a very long route back to the cafeteria to get to you, because you forced her outside. Insert the keys, throw the kid in the shredder. You remember that this kid was an orphan, right? How else would we reunite him with his family? Leave the usual way. The last MK trial of the orphanage is Gather the Children of God. In each dorm area, there is a child that you must find the button to unlock them. Once you press the button, you can take the child back to the free candy van. Alright, I guess I'm still gathering the children of God. Here you go, that child is tied up. We are kidnapping children. First you poison them, and now you're kidnapping them? What the hell, man? Once all 4 children are secured, you leave the way you came in. This trial features sound-sensitive gates. Make too much noise or too loud a noise around them and they close for a short time. And that is it for the orphanage.
You are an adult. The youth will not obey our orders and must be corrected. There are children murdering adults in the root canal. Punish the children, and we will let you out.
Grind the bad apples. This is the only main trial in the game where you don't kill someone. Alright, well it seems you have a vendetta against children, so let's get into the fun part.
The wings are all beating away, let go. Look at that smile. We're so happy.
Not all of us. Us is some grumpy verses.
We can't have that, can we, Dr. Daddy? We'll just have to peel those frownies off and make some adjustments. Come in, come join the party. We're all going to have such fun. La, 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 la.
Make your way to the cafe and find the unlimited projectile vats. Hearts! What do you know? I love a good hearty soup. I wonder where Murkoff is sourcing all these hearts from. Beats me. Don't be shy about using hearts to disarm traps or push pouncers out of hiding spots, since the hearts are unlimited. After opening the gate with a projectile, you see that we need tickets to get into the root canal. We have to win 3 games to get these tickets. All of these games involve hitting targets with projectiles, which explains the unlimited projectile vats. You can see where the games are on this board. Turn in all the tickets and enter the root canal.
That's... Now we can explore those
You can't have joy in your heart without a smile. And for a smile, you need a...
Box yourself on down, fellow.
You need a mouth, Dr. Daddy. And for a mouth, you need a face. Look at that pretty face.
Everybody zero to my daughter's tunnel.
Oh, everybody's invited in, Dr. Daddy. It's a place so wonderful, nobody ever thought to leave. So pretty.
Gooseberry seems lovely. Alright, we have to push the children across the ride. First, disable the barrier by following the wires and disarming the batteries. Once the barrier is lifted, push the children up the ride. No, you can't destroy the flamethrowers. Yes, you can try and get up there by dodging the flames. It's very risky. Just take another route. There are stairs in the other room. It's not that hard.
You see that?
Alright, another barricade to disarm. Just push the children again. Great! Gooseberry turned off the water, and unless you're Hercules, you are not pushing that cart. There are 2 pipes to turn on, one in the basement and the other in the offices. Follow the pipes to the correct valve. The pipes will twist and turn, so follow them exactly. Do not assume. Many fake valves are scattered around the map. Twisting one of those will lock it and spray psychosis gas on you. If you come across a pipe that splits, follow one of the paths until the pipe either has a break in it or leads you to the right valve. With the water turned on, we can now get these children grinded. Push them down the slope and Well, time to push him, time to grind the bad apples. Wow, that is a big grinder. Well, we may be shredding bodies, but at least we aren't killing someone. Gooseberry's gonna try and stop you, but just pop some adrenaline once you loop her and send those little shits to hell. Once you're done, the grinders will part and you'll leave the trial the same way you came in. On to the fun parts, MK challenges. Punish the Miscreants is very similar to Gather the Children of God. In each overly painted sector, find a child, then find their button to unlock them, then deposit them. Why is that child bleeding? He did not have that much blood on him, and I doubt he has blood in him. He does not have that much blood to warrant that much blood spurting. Anyways, once you deposit all 4 kids, leave the way you entered. Open the gates is a very simple trial. From each gate, there are wires. Follow them and disarm the batteries to open it. Open 4 gates and escape. Deface the Futterman, another simple trial. Find the Futterman targets around the area. Once all are hit, the gate will open. The targets, the Futterman targets, except in the final section, change speed randomly and move back and forth across the track. I hate trying to hit them. You can disarm the battery in the cafe section to gain access to more projectile bats. Do this 3 times and you are... Alrighty then, thanks Gooseberry. Oh, and Shuttle was auto-called. You have 3 minutes to hit 3 targets and open the gates to get out. Trill the Futterman is very similar to Deface the Futtermans. Enter one side of the root canal through a one-way turnstile, then find and hit all the targets. Once you hit all the targets, all the flamethrowers blocking your way will be turned off. Go to the other side via a barricade door and hit the targets there. After that, you drop down and go to Gooseberry's office while avoiding the Night Hunter. Push the button, drill the Futterman, God, that's a way to go. Ugh. And escape the way you came in. Redeem Your Freedom takes place, like in the last MK trial, in the root canal. There are 5 tickets in the canal and the offices. Listen for their printing noise. Grab all the tickets and turn them in. You can have a maximum of 4 tickets at once. Once all are turned in, leave the way you came. Last MK trial is Beguile the Children, and it is pretty. You don't really think about it often, but you're usually in a warehouse and you don't really see the sky that often. This map as a whole is very well made and fun to be in. Hope they make more MK trials around it. Alright, now for the objective and not just gushing over the design of this map. Take these film reels and find their proper projector. You can tell if it's the right projector if you can see the symbol. But even if you use the wrong reel, the black bar tells you what reel you need for the projector. There's a projector in the basement, one on the right side of the map and one on the left side of the map. Enter the code the projectors give you and escape the way you entered. Oh, and don't think about guessing. It'll hurt.
Justice. You are loyal. We cannot allow the tyranny of facts and impartial reason to condemn the people who protect and guide you. The past is changeable. The future is set. Sabotage the court, kill the judge, and we will let you out.
Vindicate the guilty. Vindicate the guilty. This is a long and complicated trial. I don't want to explain it, but I'm reviewing every trial, and Vindicate the Guilty is a main trial. Also part of every trial. I'm yapping on too long. This is also sadly Coil's second and only trial environment, unlike someone who gets 3 trial environments for no goddamn reason. Alright, our job is to make a guilty person not guilty by destroying all evidence of their wrongdoings. Sounds par for the course for Murkoff. Get into the courthouse, try to kiss Coil. Go around the gate through the library and enter the courtroom.
Ladies and gentlemen of the court, the state accuses my client of kidnapping, torture, and mutilation of 4 men and women. To which I say, where is your evidence of these heinous crimes? If there's no evidence, there is no crime.
I only want justice.
Alright, first we must dispose of physical evidence, and here we are introduced to code boxes. Find the codes hidden somewhere in the UV lit room. This room serves as a tutorial in the footage, but sometimes these pyramids are hidden super well. It's annoying how well hidden they are sometimes. The way you solve the code is by going from empty pyramid, then filled from bottom up, type in the code. Put the evidence in the fountain. Now it's time to get acid to pour into the fountain. Running or jumping or anything that's faster than walking spills acid on you, which hurts. Now you have to find the rest of the evidence on the bottom floor. In order to access the main part of the bottom floor, you have to pass through rig disabler gates. Pass through them again to reactivate your rig. Don't worry though, your rig still recharges when disabled. You just can't use it. Find the head in the code box and put it in the fountain. You may guess the code boxes, like if you have 3 of the numbers, you can guess the last number, but every failed code removes 10 seconds off the timer, and if you're in the room that the box is in once the timer is up, it will shock you, and it will play a loud-ass alarm. So be careful about doing that. Last thing you have to do to dispose of the evidence is to find... Jesus, that was a lot of 2s. So you have to find the acid on the top floor. You can find the room the acid is in by looking for the... Well, this site has acid on it marker next to a door. Now, you could just take the slow route of bringing it downstairs once you find it, or you could take the short route and jump down from the top floor to the bottom floor with the acid, just to... Don't mind the damage. Alright, the evidence is destroyed through that. It's quite a unique method. Back to the courtroom.
Considering the lack of evidence, I move that the case against my client be dismissed. Objection! Your Honor, the state requests a recess while we gather witnesses.
The wheels of justice. We got honest men who saw what she did with their own eyes. That bitch is gonna murder.
You're all guilty. I hope you, every one of you.
Witnesses. Oh boy, witnesses. This is the complicated part of the trial that I don't want to discuss, but I'm going to anyway. Here's how witnesses work, speedrun time. You have to pop 3 bulbs with the microwave trigger to kill the witness. There are methods to one-cycling them, like using rigs, or just popping them with a brick. You have to have 2 bricks, though, to one-cycle them, I mean. When you pop a witness, they will usually try to tackle you and then run off to an insertion gate, and then they'll pop out somewhere else. You can just run or go into a hiding spot to avoid the tackle. If a witness sees you, they will go to an insertion gate. If witness hears you make too much noise, they will go to an insertion gate. They're actually called scapegoats, but in every trial except one, they're called witnesses, so force of habits, I guess. You are also given a tracker. The more lights that are lit up, the closer you are to a witness. If the light on the bottom or top of the tracker is lit, it means the witness is on a different floor. Both the tracker and microwave trigger take up an inventory slot. The top floor makes you pass through a rigged disabler gate, so enjoy killing the witness. Kill each witness on the top and bottom floor, and then return to the courtroom. Alright, it's time to give the judge her due. God, the way she screams, you know she's done nothing wrong, and yet here you are killing her. She even screams for Coil's help. I mean, I would scream for Coil's help too, but for an entirely different items, I'm sorry. Unlock the cranks by fixing the fuse box attached to its wire. For solo, you only need one crank. I mean, for multiplayer, you also only need one crank, but you want two people cranking at the same time. What a phrase. Anyways, brutalize the judge while Coil tries to stop you, and after you do that, leave the same way you entered. Also, the escape sequence music for this trial is a banger. Hi ho, it's off to the MK trials we go. Alright, first MK trial is Escape the Courthouse. It's witness killing simulator, so it's simultaneously the best and worst trial ever. I'm guessing this is where Murkoff sources the hearts for the vats, because we are killing a lot of people. You kill 5 witnesses throughout the courthouse. Three have 2 bulbs, and the last one has 3. The first one is like a tutorial. For some reason, you learn the tutorial and Vindicate the Guilty. It doesn't matter. He has 1 bulb. Escape the same way you did in Vindicate the Guilty. Destroy the Evidence is a walking simulator because you are carrying 3 tubs of acid to the courtroom and melting probably the only non-nude male model in this game, Breaking Bad style. This board shows you where the acid is located. This trial features time gates that after a period of time will either open or close, seen by their gate blinking what they are transitioning to. Also, I really wish they made the timed gates go off like 5 seconds during the escape sequence. It would have been so cool and stressful. Leave the way you entered. Fuel the Release is as if you had to do Sabotage the Lockdown 3 times in one trial. Take the gas canister and repair the generator, then do that again. Then do that again, but in the most annoying section, because Coil and a big grunt patrol around the generator. And now, after fixing that generator, you can escape. Tilt the Scales of Justice. I hope you enjoyed the code box from Vindicate the Guilty, because you're going to have to do that 3 more times. This board shows you where the code boxes are. Solve them and give Lady Justice her head. This trial features a lot of sound gates, so know how to play around those. Coil has a funny... I stalked Coil for a while, and I could not get him to say it. He has a funny line where he says, "Only I'm allowed to give Lady Justice head." Very funny, Coil. Leave the way you entered. The last trial of the courthouse environment is Sentence the Prosecuted. This trial utilizes a mechanic from a future main trial, but I'll explain it here anyway. Use the decoder to find yellow symbols around the courthouse. 2 codes are on the left side of the courthouse and 2 are on the right side. When near a yellow symbol, the decoder's first number will begin to flip. When beginning to line up or get really close to the symbol, the second number will flip. When the image lines up, all numbers will flip and you will receive the code. Apply the code to the right symbol and determine the sentence. Hint, it's death. Leave the way you entered.
You are the Revelator. What you build exposes the perversion latent in every heart. We cannot allow hidden messages and innuendo to corrupt our children. Expose, humiliate, and destroy the deviant, and we will let you out.
Pervert the Futterman, Gooseberry's third map. Came out after Courthouse, so it made sense why Gooseberry gets a third map. But why the hell does Franco get 3 in a row and not Coil? I just don't get it. I just don't get it. And let's focus on the trial. Pervert the Futterman is a trial that features conveyor belts. Very simple design, annoying as hell if you can't play around them properly. I'm getting ahead of myself. First, we gotta get the key to the factory. We do that by putting trash boxes in the trash compactor. Don't mind Ryan in there. Find trash boxes around, put them on the conveyor, and witness the bullshit that conveyors are. Conveyors move at a steady pace, but there's only one spot you can put in boxes and pick up boxes from. And if you miss the picking up the box, you have to wait for the box to loop around the entire conveyor belt. Fun. Alright, just put all the trash in the trash compactor and... Oh. Poor Ryan. Remember when I was talking about ways to go? Yeah, this is one of them. Grab the key and enter the factory. Now we gotta turn this guy into a sex toy. Wow, talk about sentences you never thought you'd say. That's one of them. But we might as well be doing him a favor because his mind is really gone. Just listen to him. Do him his favor by finding the key in the control room. Then taking the assigned box seen on the TV screen next to the processor, I guess we'll call it. Then we take that box from the storage room, put it on a conveyor, then take it out of the conveyor, and then put it into the feeder. You have to do this 2 more times. You can do the production steps out of order. The only difference is the conveyor spots you have to pick up from and where the key is located. Well, different from the first step. The control room for each sector will tell you where its key is located in the factory. The first conveyor, the one connected to the box storage room, outputs into both the first and second sector. The third sector conveyor is so damn long, and the box must be taken from the first conveyor in the second sector and then put onto the second conveyor. Hope that didn't confuse you. Then you must wait for it upstairs. Complete all the steps. Well, now that we've thoroughly ravaged this man, time to get him to a much better place than the Sinlaya facility. Redirect the track and get him to the furnace. Time to kill him, and oh my god, we are burning this man alive. Like, God. Why do we have to kill everyone in this brutal way as possible? First a drill in the neck, and then, or back, and then we crush a man. Then we explode a bomb in these guys' mouths. Oh, Jesus, we are terrible people. Well, let's get this over with. The handle has no pressure, so we can't burn him. Find the valve by following the pipe. There are no false valves in this trial, so if you come across the valve, it's the right one. The pressure slowly drains passively and drains with each push of the handle, so be quick about killing him. We are terrible people. Don't prolong his suffering. Jesus, the way he jerks around on the cage. Okay, after you kill him, leave the way you entered. The first MK trial of the Toy Factory is terrible. I hate this trial. Crush the sex toys. You like conveyors, didn't you? Remember when I said in some trials the heavy item restriction gates are obnoxious? This is the paragon of that. You have to use the conveyors, and all of them have these long-ass loops, so you better get the box off the conveyor the first time. And I know in the main trial, Rebirth the Fireman, you had to use the conveyors, but then it made sense. You know, the trial's meant to be long, and it's excusable at least. This trial, no. Okay, here's how the trial works. Power the generators to see the numbers written on the boxes. Pick the right box, as shown on the TV, and throw it in the compactor. Then do that 4 more times with a different box in 4 different sectors. Each sector has a conveyor belt that goes into the next sector, so you have to take the outer sector boxes from the inner sector conveyor belts. Then put them on the inner sector's conveyor belts into the compactor area. Yeah, enjoy doing that. The generators that power the UV lights are faulty, meaning that after a time they will power off and must be repowered. Both the outer sector areas have more than one room of boxes. Yay! There are also fake boxes on the conveyors. You can find the real one by either powering the sector's generator or just pinging the box when you put it down. Please ping the box. Fuck this trial, leave the way you entered. Incinerate the sex toys. Why'd I say in that tone? I don't know why. Anyways, now with it sharing a name with the previous trial, you would assume this trial is bad. Not at all. This trial it's a pretty good MK trial. Alright, first things first, this MK trial spawns everyone apart. Push the cart of toys to the first gate. Don't worry, the cart can't roll back. Find the key as designated by the sign and push the toys to the next gate. Find the key for that gate and then escape. Shut down the factory. I like this MK trial a lot. If only we could shut down the factory before we burnt that man alive. 4 sectors of the factory must be shut down. To shut them down, I'm gonna say shut down a lot, aren't I? You must follow the wires to a fuse box and fix it. The wires are coming from the button used to shut down the factory. Each sector has 2 fuse boxes that need to be fixed before it can be shut down. Press the button to close the sector. As you shut down the sector, numerous gates will close, so as you progress the trial, more and more of the map will be closed off. This is the aspect of the trial that I really like. Shut down all 4 sectors and escape the way you entered. The last MK trial of the Toy Factory is Fumigate the Factory. First the children and now the workers. You just love poisoning people, don't you? Choose a side to go into. It's a one-way trip until you finish your job. Follow the green and red pipes and twist all the valves. This map contains no fake valves, so if you come across one, don't worry about it being fake. Once you finish all 3 valves, the sector will fill with poison gas. If you stay too long in the gas, you begin to take damage. Get out quickly, and do the same for the other sector. Once you're done, push the button to poison the live reagents. Like I said, you just love poisoning mannequins and people, and leave the way you entered.
You are the surgeon's knife, and where you meet flesh, blood and pain must follow. We are the surgeon's medicine, who regulate pain and death. Poison the supply of those who would ease pain, and we will let you out.
Poison the medicine. A long trial indeed, but one I will actually enjoy reviewing. The docks are a good-looking environment. The water in the desert is a weird thing to waste for looks. Oh, yeah, that isn't water. This trial track should be called Produce the Heroin, because that's what we're doing in this trial! We're not poisoning anything, we're producing heroin. Alright, first we gotta get to the lab. And a train is blocking our way. Okay, let's unblock it.
What's that fucking racket?
What the fuck are you crying about? You get caught with your hand in the cookie jar?
You get fucked sideways to hell!
Nobody touches my fucking product.
Franco Barbie, the man with the shotgun. Franco is a man-child with a heavy mommy kink. He's the son of a mafia boss and slept with his father's 4th wife. May not be incest, but still extremely weird. When Murkoff was surveying Franco, Clyde Perry wanted to see the aftermath of Franco's hobbies, I guess we'll say. Turns out he was inside the woman he just had sex with and shot the shit out of Perry. Didn't kill him, though. In short, Franco's one mean motherfucker. If you couldn't tell, Franco has a gun. An Olympia that has just a... You thought of a sawed-off shotgun? No, that's a sawed-off shotgun. The gun has 2 shells. You can hear him reload his gun as he chases you. If Franco is startled by a noise, he will shoot in the direction of the noise. Back to the trial, you get to the lab and take the flour, that's what we'll be calling it, from the cart and pour it in. Ah, well, we're out of flour. Better go grab some more. Push the cart to the train yard. Now we get to learn about a mechanic I explained back in the courthouse. Decoders. Decoders work on yellow symbols. Line up the yellow symbol to get a code. When you're near a yellow symbol, the first number will begin to flip. When closer, the second number will flip. Once you're lined up, the code is given to you. Find 2 of these symbols in the yard, type them into their respective code boxes, and take the flour and put it in the cart. Take the cart back to the production site and pour the last of the flour in. Now we have to put the poison, more likely chemicals, into the drugs before we fully produce them. We take the tutorial poison and pour it in. Then we go to the warehouse to find more poison. Most of the warehouses is filled with poisonous gas. If you stay in the poison too long, you begin taking damage. You can alleviate poison by exiting the poisonous area or hiding. When holding gas canisters, you will begin inhaling the fumes. They are exactly like the poison in the warehouse. Drop the canister to alleviate your poison buildup and then just pick it back up. You can tell where the poison is based on where the signs with the gas mask on them are. Deposit the poison in the funnel and finish the production to get your packages of heroin. I don't know why they're pre-packaged. Just be thankful you don't have to package them. New objective, gather the plastic to package the heroin, each heroin package individually. Take the heroin and unlock the cargo hold. Funny thing you can do, instead of running away to the back, you can just vault over the window as Franco does and just drop down the cargo shaft. He loses you and it makes it a lot easier to get a head start on the final objective. Alright, cut open these very alive people. Stuff the cocaine in them. Alright, this is just brutal. That cannot feel good for either side. I mean, of course it's not going to feel good for the guys who are really stuffing heroin into their organs. Alright, now that we've stored the heroin in the cargo, let's get out of here. Hope you didn't put exit rush on. Anyways, exit the way you came. Empty the vault utilizes the most bearable mechanic in the game. Similar to Sense the Prosecuted, you must find yellow symbols in the shipping yard, Chemco, and train depot areas. Get the codes, open the vault, and take the loot. Afterwards, escape the way you entered. Poison the cattle. Well, I may hate big grunts, but that is quite a position to be in. It's quite a way to go. I've said that a lot, haven't I? Alright, this facility is brutal. God, do not get on Murkoff's bad side. Otherwise, you will be a body and poison the medicine. You have to gather all the poison in the Chemco area and pour it in the funnel. Chemco is filled with poisonous gas, so make sure to dip in and out or use hiding spots. There's a shortcut to the train yard from Chemco, but the gate can only be opened from the Chemco side or by using the jammer. Once you deposit all 3 of the poison containers, leave the way you came. Stash the contraband. Not a bad trial. Take the packs of flour from the shipping yard and deposit them in the 9 barrels, with 3 being in each area. Once you have stashed the flour, leave the way you came. Last MK trial of the docks is a pretty good one. Cook the Informant. This trial features defective microwave triggers. Once the microwave trigger is used, it is destroyed. This trial has bulb gates. Find the bulb somewhere nearby and pop it with a microwave trigger to open it. Make your way to the informant in the train yard. You may think you have to use a trigger to get through each gate because of this gate, but turns out you can jump on the trains. What do you know? The only gates you have to open are the intro one and the one to access the informant. The defective microwave triggers are found around the map on pedestals. I really like the defective microwave triggers as a mechanic because it promotes a dilemma of whether or not you should open up the map more or save the triggers for the witness. The witness has 3 bulbs, although the first one is given to you for free unless you just decide to waste it. Once the witness runs off, he will spawn in a random part of the map. You use the tracker to find him and kill him. Once he's dead, leave the way you entered.
Gentle hand, and you are a crushing fist. You give pleasure when lust is the lubricant of power. You give pain when violence is the fountainhead of control. Replace the prosecutor's whores with assassins, and we will let you out.
Pleasure the prosecutor. This is the worst trial in the game. No doubt about it. It uses many mechanics like witnesses and just sitting in an area for an amount of time. All of that prolongs the trial by an unnecessary amount. I'm going to go through this trial as calmly and as informative as I can. First, we have to get into the theater. To do that, we need a ticket, which is located inside a capture protocol zone. You must stay inside the zone to progress the percentage. Periodically, the zone will shut off and must be rebooted by flicking the beeping levers. If you exit the zone, the percentage will decrease until the percentage of the last shutdown. The enemies who are assigned to patrol these capture zones are very sensitive to noise, so be quiet. Once you reach 100%, grab the ticket and enter the theater. Go to the second floor and shut off the show.
Careful, Mr. Discloud! Who turned off the horse? Half a fuck's worse than no fuck at all! My goddamn guest didn't goddamn I can't even say what I'm gonna do to you!
Throw away the mannequins and blow up the witness just outside. The witness has a key in his head to unlock the capture zone. This witness only has one bulb and his head instantly explodes, so that's nice. Complete the capture protocol for the assassin and take her back to the theater. After that, you will have to do that 3 more times in 3 different areas. The witnesses in those areas have 2 bulbs instead of 1, though their heads do still instantly explode. Complete the capture protocols for each area, and then bring the 3 assassins and activate them all. Now we get to play Simon Says. Franco will be patrolling this big open room, so be very keen on where he is at all times. Because if he sees you, you will struggle to get back into a position to activate the assassins. Like I said, we're playing Simon Says. You can sit in this corner to get a view of the sequence, since it's dark and Franco doesn't typically patrol that area. If you can't see it, but you can also play it by ear, because each light makes a distinctive noise. Just memorize it, repeat the sequence, and once you complete the 4th sequence, you escape the way you came. Good luck escaping, by the way, because both Franco and a big grunt patrol the shuttle. Fuck this trial. First indicated trial of this godforsaken environment is Kidnap the Mistress. This can be a short or long trial, depending on your luck. Listen for radios or men talking. If you find the radio, tune it. If you find the men, follow the wire to the radio and then tune it. Once you tune the radio, the men they are connected to will stop talking. Once you have tuned all 3 radios, return to the police station and figure out who you need to kidnap based on this chart, and where they are based on the TV. Once you have delivered the mistress to the police station, leave the way you entered. Spread the Disease took the worst part of Pleasure the Prosecutor and made it an MK trial. Instead of unlocking assassins, you were unlocking cans of STDs. I'm serious. You can see where the protocol zones are based on this sign. Pour all the containers and... I'm not sure if this is worse than burning someone alive. It's definitely up there. Jesus, what the fuck? Leave the way you entered. The last MK trial of downtown is Traffic the Product. Now you've probably noticed as I've gotten to the more recent trials, the environments have had less and less MK trials, and that's because Outlast is a live service game. The reason why Police Station has 17 billion MK trials is because it's been around the longest. But the reason why this trial, or the downtown environment only has 3 is because it's not too recent, but it's recent enough to not have been given a lot of MK trials. Now these next couple of trial environments are only going to have 2 MK trials, and the most recent trial environment has no MK trials, which will most certainly change with future updates. Once again, this game is live service. Let's get on to Traffic the Product. Give the addicts their drugs and take their money. You can use the trolley, you don't have to. But, you know, it's advised that you do. Because, do you really want to carry around 8 heavy items? I don't. Deposit the money in the van. Get 4 more cases of cash and put it in the van. You can see where to find addicts based on this sign. After you deposit all the money, leave the way you came.
Come here, slut!
The scab that heals the wound. The union is the putrescent sore that infects with notions of a livable wage and a survivable workplace. An example must be made. Kill the union boss, resume production, and we will let you out.
Liquidate the union. Another trial that kind of drags, but not as bad as Pleasure the Prosecutor. Get to the town hall and stop the meeting. Can you tell I'm getting tired of reviewing these trials? Get to the town hall already.
That speech was fucking beautiful! The fuck is wrong with you? We was trying to foment some fucking grievances! Gonna get my friend comfortable, then he thinks I'm fucked.
Time to introduce a mechanic only rivaled by the enraged witness. In order to progress, you must open the gate. And in order to do that, you must find the right symbols on the radios and do them in order. If you do them out of order, the sequence resets and you have to retune the radios. Because we like retuning radios. You can find where the symbols are based on where white paint's streaking from. Sometimes you'll have to go outside the room where the radio is to see it. Open the gates and enter the manor. Oh boy, codes! Just what I wanted. Okay, each of these rooms listed on the sign has a single pyramid code. find them and put them in the right order to get the Union boss out of his panic room. Now we need to get the Union boss to the meat plant, and to do that, we must open more gates, just like we did in the intro. Great. To move the Union boss, just stand near him. He makes a constant level 3 noise when moving, and rolls back if left untouched. But every gate serves as a checkpoint that he can't roll past, just like Kill the Snitch. Once you get him past the 2 gates, it's time to liquidate the Union. On the TVs on the meat grinder is a workplace injury. Find the corresponding safety symbol around the meat plant and hit it with the throwable. So, if the TVs have a bloody ear, hit the headphone sign. There are heart vats in the freezers on the first floor. Hit 3 symbols in a row to shred a body. That's right, we are drowning the Union boss in blood. And evidently he does not like it. Do this 4 times, and afterwards escape the way you entered. Get out the vote. Not a bad trial. Take the candidate around houses similar to how you moved around the Union boss. Solve the code boxes to get the person outside. They give you their ticket, and then your candidate can progress along the track. You may do codes before the candidate gets there. The voter will be waiting outside for him. Each room in the house has only 1 code. So if you find a code in a room, you can move on to the next room. Once you get all 3 votes, return the candidate to the school and turn in the votes. Now that we've won the election, you can leave the way we entered. Disrupt the neighborhood. This trial is terrible. You have to open 3 gates. And in order to see the symbols on the radios for them, you have to power generators. And with most of the generators being in the open, this attracts attention, which wastes your time and potentially your health if Franco's nearby. Oh, and these generators are faulty too, so, say you're in Chase for a bit, or you're in Psychosis for a bit, whenever you get out of it, enjoy watching the UV lights turn off. I don't want to play this trial any longer than I have to. Open the gate to the school by tuning the radio. You know how this works. I explained this to you in Liquidate the Union. Then open the gate to the exit. And you're out. Fuck this trial.
Are the cleansing flood that washes away the lies. If the people are allowed to choose leaders who poison the well of obedience with the bile of history, then we must drown those leaders in that self-same bile. Kill the politician, cleanse his bones and flesh, and we will let you out.
Kill the politician. This is a really good trial. The environment is very different from all the other maps. In the devlogs, they said they wanted to make a map that had you traversing more so in the back ways, while having a very exposed middle area. So you had to willingly put yourself in the giant crosshairs of every enemy in order to get to where you need it to be. And the map is really good. I like it. Now, this trial has no intro sequence for the prime assets of this map, so allow Easterman to introduce them for you.
Look into the eyes of a friend, a sibling, a partner, a lover. That person is capable of anything. lies, violence, infidelity, murder. A pessimist might account for this by humanity's inherent cruelty.
Vile beasts!
An optimist may think it only demonstrates the plasticity of our identities.
Only beasts are burden, needing leadership.
A new archetype has arrived. Forebears of tradition, an enduring moral order, forced into shadows by the circumstances of their biology, elevated to wealth and power by sheer force of will. Otto and Aurora Cress.
Sister dear.
Yes, lover?
These rough beasts would like to make our acquaintance.
Two very different kinds of genius. Her gifted in chemistry, him gifted in politics. Opposite and complementary tools of manipulation. Always watching, never out of reach. The fountainhead of a medicated and managed future. Look into the eyes of a friend. Look into a mirror. Know that you are capable of anything except choice.
Since Easterman just gave you the rundown of Otto and Aurora, I'm going to be brief about their lore. Otto and Aurora fuck each other. They don't consider it incest. They own the Crest Chemical Company, which is very good for Easterman, and they also manufactured the thing that makes you see it mirrored for Rebirth. They are probably the most sane out of all the Prime assets, which, given their brutality, is quite disturbing. They have a full 360 view, so if you see them, they can see you. Otto has a buzzsaw. It hurts. Aurora throws chemical vials. They make you sick, and if you don't cure it with an antidote, you will stop in your tracks and throw up and take damage, giving Otto ample time to catch up to you and use that buzzsaw that hurts so much. Aurora has the same reaction attack to sound as Franco and the picture do, where, if they're startled by a noise, she'll throw her chemical vial at it. On to the trial, we get to learn how fuse boxes work. Take a fuse from the lit store and watch as the gates close and an enemy immediately spawns in before the alarm can even finish playing. Get out of the store and put the fuse in the red box. Once a fuse goes into a red box, it cannot be retrieved. Now that we've opened the mall, well, our politician friend is just right there, but we can't get to him. There are people blocking our way. We need a ticket to enter, which we can get from the department store. But in order to open the department store, we must go around the mall and find 3 fuses to put in the red box. You can tell a store has a fuse if it is lit up. Once you find all 3 fuses and insert them into the red box, the department store will open. You thought getting a ticket was going to be as easy as entering a department store? No! This is a mall. We have to spend $40 to win that ticket. Boxes are littered around the department store. Some are worthless, others are expensive. You can check a box's price by standing in front of a price checker. Now, if you're looking to get $40 quickly, as long as you have a spare fuse on you, you can go to the back of the store and find the overweight boxes. Overweight boxes won't let you jump and take up half your screen like it's that one Wraith weapon from Dead by Daylight. But overweight boxes are worth a whole lot more than the smaller boxes found in the store. You may even find the fabled $19.99 overweight box. Once you accumulate the cash, grab the ticket and enter Fountain Square. Now, if you forgot, we are looking to kill this man. And how are we going to kill him? By spraying acid onto him, of course. But there's no pressure. There's no acid to spray onto him. We gotta fix that. Go into the service room behind the fountain and solve this math puzzle with the valves to get the acid flowing. I really hope you can do math, because otherwise this is gonna be a hard section for you to do. The service board will light up, telling you where the 3 other pipes that need to be fixed are. Once you fix those, we can finally get to the name of the trial.
Nobody can hear you. It's a sausage race. The juice. We'll split them from grinding chops. Election is a sacred institution. Gotta kill it. We may need to help out of the puppet more directly. Make them mad.
Use the pump to build pressure. This pressure will passively drain. And also make sure to wait before pumping again, because if you pump very quickly, barely any pressure is going to build from that pump. So you're just like, go push, wait 2 seconds, push, and it'll build up pressure a lot faster that way. Use the water guns, or I guess acid guns in this case, to spray acid onto the politician. He's moving back and forth, so you'll have to swap guns if you want to keep getting acid on them. The twins are here to stop you, but since they can't go under crawl spaces, I recommend taking them to the service room, making sure they see you near the door by the corridor that leads to like the back of the stores, then going through the bathroom's crawl hole and back to the fountain square. That is you out of time. Disintegrate this man to death and leave the way you entered.
This is war. How dare you touch us?
Investigate the Minotaur. The Buffalo Minotaur was the nickname the authorities gave the murders that the twins did. For obvious reasons, of course. This trial is pretty good. You must take a fuse and an ovoid box of whatever this is. You must take it from Spencer's all the way back to the trial entrance. You have to open the gates with a fuse. You can find where to put the fuses by following the wire from the gate. Once you get the box through the gate, go back and grab the fuse because you'll need it for the next gate. The twins patrol the area of wherever the box is, so yeah. You can also open up the fountain square more by destroying this co-op door and pressing the button. Once you open the department store's gate, you'll no longer need the fuse. Give the box to the muckracker and leave the way you entered. Last MK trial of the mall is Fabricate the Scandal. Put the tutorial Aurora onto the right colored mannequin spot, I don't really know what to call it, and take the photo it gives you. Then deposit this photo in the security room. Now we have to do this 3 more times. Assign the right colored Aurora to its mannequin to get a photo. You can see where these spots are based on this board, but it won't tell you the colors that are needed. Once you have all the photos, deposit them and leave the way you entered.
This is a thanks.
Before we get into the final trial of the game, as of, Project Messiah, I feel the need to discuss its prime asset. Yes, the prime asset does have an intro, unlike the twins, but I feel the lore tangent I'm about to go on will be long and disrupt the flow of, this is what's happening in the trial. Once again, I am no lore master. There are people out there who understand this much better than I do. So go to them if you want a better analysis of our prime asset. Sister Lilia Bogolamova. I'll be calling her Lilia because I'm not saying that last name more than once. I'll let Easterman briefly introduce her.
Being so fixated on your faith leaves you distracted. terribly vulnerable to something very real. Sister Lilia Bogomolova, an evangelist and priestess, a voice of peace, calling out for blood, an ascetic dripping in hoarded treasure. She's a woman of God, a custodian of miracles, the product of a half-century of war and corruption, avenging angel of divine retribution. She's waiting.
I am the way.
She's gonna make you believe.
That is the most emotional we've heard Easterman ever be. Now, I could interpret her lore and give you my take on it, but I know I'll get it wrong in some aspect. Lilia is very complicated in both gameplay and lore, so let me read off a portion, well, a majority of her Murkoff Collections comic, and I'll let you interpret it as you please. Please forgive my accents. I can't do a German accent, so Wernicke is going to have an accent I can actually do, which I think is Russian. I don't even know what accent I'm doing. Let's get into it. Sister Lilia Bogomolova. You've read their files? Sure, she's been catatonic for half a decade, not doing us any good, and eating up a damn impressive budget in security and sedatives. Way I see it, I sold that Easterman character a dead dog for the price of a prized horse. Quiet. I wonder, could you hand me that letter opener? This Nazi dagger? Just a moment. I want to play you a recording. What the hell is all that? It does nothing for you? Ah, well. Stop playing with that knife. I want to show you something. In her files, did you notice that all of the stories about Lilia failed to end? I'm not sure what you mean. Well, for instance, she was brought to Mount Massive by a young CIA agent named George Nichols. George had served for the Americans in Europe during the Zerweiter Weltkrieg. He lost an arm and a leg, and a good portion of his face. Not uncommon in a war of landmines and artillery. He had heard stories during the war about the Angel of Leningrad, the Russian Joan of Arc. They called her Bogomolova, Russian for beloved of God. A child of Russian landowners exiled by the revolution. As a teenager, she was guided by the voice of God to return to her homeland and defend it against the Hun. Stories within stories. George heard a Russian prisoner of war tell a story he heard from a Finnish nurse. Lilia not only survived 3 years of the most brutal warfare possible, but proved herself a deadly hunter. Bogomol is also Russian for praying mantis, an ambush predator, a sexual cannibal. She could disappear anywhere, in the shadows, among statues, among the corpses of frozen stiff in the Russian winter. I suppose she thought she was protected by God, so long as she was doing God's work. I had heard of her myself, among German officers. She was an object of terror and fascination, though once we admitted defeat, when Germany began its retreat from Stalingrad, God must have decided Bogomova's work was done, because he stopped protecting her. What happened next was gruelingly reconstructed by George Nichols years later, long after the war. George was one of the CIA's earliest recruits, assigned to trace missing Mutual Security Act funds. It let him foster a growing fascination with Lilia Bogomolova until it became an obsession. A Nazi officer, and I'm not saying that word, retreating from Stalingrad, captured her. Lilia slashed his face while he was trying to restrain her. In punishment, he chopped off the hand she had used to hold the knife. When she cursed him for it, he cut out her tongue. Who knows how he used her while they were on the rat line to the Mediterranean. I remember thinking God wasn't strong enough to protect her from the combined efforts of a crumbling Reich and an incessant CIA. But God doesn't level mountains. He gives us the strength to climb. Lilia didn't need a tongue to pray. And in Genoa, the night before she was going to be dragged onto a boat to Argentina, there was a miracle. She could speak again, and after all of her time listening to the voice of God, she could speak with his tongue. And she gave up I'm not saying that word, I can't... the Nazis' bodyguards and staff some ideas. She had walked out of Genoa and wandered into the forest of Eastern Europe, where she has lost years, a time cloaked in mystery, just like Christ. But villagers and travelers reported finding the inexplicable in the wilderness. Corpses transformed into religious statuary. Poor George thought Lilia witnessed something in the siege of Leningrad, in the abuse and corruption of the aftermath, in a wilderness consecrated by the blood of whole nations. Something about the 20th century, something about the mind of God. Years later, fortunes began to vanish. Wealthier families, industrialists funded with American dollars to rebuild Europe, would hemorrhage all of their money and vanish from society. When their corpses were found, they would be mutilated fractions of themselves. It was something the CIA could not abide, and so young George Nichols was sent to investigate. Searching around the States, hearing stories of the Angel of Leningrad, of Sister Lilia, of the Beloved of God. Putting together the story you've just heard, getting closer and closer, finding crime scenes, finding evidence that the legends were true, until he found her. Sister Lilia Bogolamova. For years she was a religious parasite, exploiting the spiritual vacuum in the hearts of the wealthy elite, turning their fortunes to ash, turning their hunger for conquest against their own bodies. George Nichols never stepped on a landmine. He made it unscathed to these Zweiter Weltkrieg. So lucky you could call it miraculous. Everything he lost, he did to himself, at the instruction of God, as told to him by Sister Lilia. When George brought her to us, I half believe that was as much her idea as the agency's. Maybe the wealth and corruption of America was too great a temptation. But wherever she goes, she makes acolytes. Witnesses to testify half-finished stories because they end with the teller cutting out his tongue. Half of these patients are former staff, doctors, administrators. Bureaucrats not unlike yourself. In the first 6 months she was at Mount Massive, we lost nearly 20% of our budget to her influence. Utter waste. And then 10% of staff to self-mutilate. Suicide and the blades she somehow kept managing to hide among her gowns, to kill those she could not manipulate. She's too dangerous to keep, but too interesting to kill. Keeping her drugged to the gills was her only chance of survival. So by all means, send her to Sinlaya. You're not sending them a dead dog. You're sending them a viper. And if they give her even an inch of liberty, God have mercy on their souls. Am I a comic dub channel now? No, I'm not. Don't ever compare me to those freaks. With Lilia's notable charisma and effect on people, I have a very big feeling that Lilia will put into motion the next story events of the Outlast trials, and I believe she will have a profound effect on Easterman. Lilia's gameplay is currently heavily tied to her trial. Lilia can pose as one of her mannequins, but she cannot take the place of one, so if you pass by a mannequin and it doesn't attack you, that mannequin is forever safe. If you get close to Lilia in her disguised mannequin form, she will jump you and make you escape by either button mashing or using a brick or bottle. I don't know why, but this bonking animation is so funny to me. I like her escape animation. It's like, boom. Anyways, Lilia can also hide in hiding spots, so be careful around them. Most of Lilia's gameplay hinges on how well you can remember where safe mannequins are. I love the feeling of walking into a room, knowing something is out of place, but you can't quite put your finger on it, so you either leave or, like, try to avoid the mannequins entirely. And then seeing Lilia either begin a chase with you because you're not getting closer to her, or her not being there after you return. Lilia is very stealth-oriented, meaning that she can sneak up behind you and attack you, because unless you see her moving, chase music will not start. Pinging Lilia in her mannequin form will not show up as red. It is very scary when Lilia is sneaking up behind you and you hear the faint rattle of jewelry, turn around and go, oh fuck! Lilia makes the entire trial have this air of tension, not knowing where she is. And if you thought for a second that X-ray was going to be useful, no. They put bones in all the mannequins. So, I mean, there is a tell if it's Lilia, because every mannequin has one bone missing, but Lilia has all her bones. But of course, they just made Jammer even better, because if you hover over a mannequin and your jammer doesn't light up, guess what? That's not Lilia. But if you hover over a mannequin and it lights up, that's Lilia. That's not a mannequin, actually. It's Lilia. They just made Jammer even better, just what I wanted. Alright, on to the trial.
Human life is just one more product, an amusement for those with enough money to do anything they want. A fresh plaything is up for auction. Destroy the lot, despoil its value, and we will let you out.
Despoil the auction. It has 2 steps in the entire trial, but is somehow super complicated and super scary. First, we must get warm. These oversized heat lamps give you the warmth needed to resist the cold. If you're freezing, you will begin to take damage until unfrozen. By the way, all these heat lamps are powered by faulty generators. Yippee! Time to get into the resort. We need a key to get in. So, go into the boiler area of the resort and unplug the 2 batteries connected to the mannequin. Once all batteries are unplugged, you'll hear a noise. This means the mannequin has opened his hand to give you the key. Grab the key and open the front door. The game will tell you once you've unlocked all the doors related to the key, and as such, you can drop the key without ever having to go back for it. Time to get into the auction.
Follow me.
How much would you give to take part in salvation?
In order to access the auction, we have to donate to get in. And we do that by depositing jewelry brooches. Green jewels are worth 10, blue jewels are worth 20, and red jewels are worth 30. Use the portable blacklight to find the symbol on Lilia. If it's a skull, the brooch will blow up once picked up. If it has a money symbol, take the brooch and deposit it in the donation bin. Lilia is on the prowl. Now, I'm not sure exactly how Lilia's whispering works, but I know her mannequins whisper, and if you're near her and she whispers, you hear it like doubled over because she's speaking, and I guess she has some like telekinetic powers, something like that. Or maybe they just blasting her recording over the entire resort. Either way, it's very, very foreboding. Alright, well now we have to scrounge around the resort for brooches. You can also open up the map more by disarming batteries, this time it's 4, and using the keys. Each key has a spare room that has a red jewel in it, so cash money. The last key you can get is the bear key. This allows you to access the basement, which is a ruby farm, or ruby red jewel farm. Once you accumulate the $350 in donations, you gain access to the auction floor. Guess what we're doing? We are killing this woman medieval torture style by ripping all her limbs off. Don't you feel like a great person? Take out the lot numbers and replace them with cranks. You can find crank in the rooms marked with the crank sign. Whenever you start cranking, don't you dare. Lilia will fast travel with an insertion gate near the auction floor and try to stop you. Simply run away or loop her or whatever. Once you tear all 4 limbs off, leave the way you came.
Let me stab you.
Resort has no MK challenges as of the Project Messiah update. That is all of the trials. I really hope you learned something. I'm sorry if my descriptions are sparse in some areas. Filming and editing the footage together is really exhausting and a heavy endurance test. Now that we're done with the main therapy, let's get into the alternative therapies. Escalation Therapy is a roguelike version of playing Outlast trials, and it's probably the best thing you'll play after the main game, since the main game can be kind of repetitive after 100 hours or so. Ask me how I know. In Escalation, you'll have a choice of 3 rigs at the start, which is what you'll be sticking with for the entire run. You start off with no prescriptions, no rig upgrades, and no amps. Once the trial shuttle gets to its destination, the trial will be given a random set of variators that can do as little as change the secondary objective to as big as a permanent Jaeger. Fun! Once a trial is complete, you are given a new selection of upgrades that can contain amps or have specific items waiting at the shuttle. Entrance, prescriptions, rig upgrades, etc. Completing the secondary objective grants an additional selection, so it's best to complete the secondary every trial to maximize survival. Some variators cannot be paired together or be in certain trials. For example, stay together cannot be in a trial like Season Narcotics because it separates everyone in the beginning. Permanent Jaeger cannot be paired with more pitchers and things like that. Escalation is simple on paper but gets extremely hard into the later trials. Every 10 trials is a main trial, while every trial in between is an MK trial. After trial 10, the Ultra Variator is applied to every trial, which is just like Psychosurgery but with less items 1 instead of less items 2, and it doesn't take away an inventory slot. After trial 20, Ultra 2 will replace Ultra 1. This Ultra sucks because now there are next to no items in the trial, so good luck finding medicine and surviving psychosis. After you finish a trial, your health and night vision battery will be preserved, so try and heal up and battery up in between every trial, because you could get hit with a variator like no medical items or no items in trial. But elements like psychosis or sanity level and rig cooldowns are reset in between every trial. So if you have the prepared upgrade for your rig, it will be ready when you get out of the trial, but if you don't, it will be on cooldown. While we're discussing variators, let's talk about some of the more interesting ones. Don't Make Noise changes up your entire playstyle, and when comboed with other variators, or is present on certain trials, it really sucks. Simply put, enemies have a low FOV range but are super sensitive to noise, and some actions like disarming door traps or jumping are louder. Also, enemies can now hear you crouch walking if you're close enough. Hooray! This barrier can also be used to your advantage because you can lure an enemy just by jumping. You can lure an enemy over to you and then like just crawl your way to an objective, because since they can't really see you, it's a lot easier to move around them even in the light. Fun variator, terrifying in an escalation run. Enraged enemies is the best and worst variator. It makes the game very terrifying when you're caught, but it also makes witnesses the fucking worst. Every enemy in the trial is enraged, meaning they have glowing eyes unless they have goggles like the Pusher, high sensitivity to noise, and run faster, and have unlimited stamina. Once again, fuck enraged witnesses. Have fun trying to even cook him. The variator is super fun and scary. Makes you laugh at how fast the enemies are and hate how they actually stab you. Wow. 10 out of 10, put it on psychosurgery, red barrels. Reagents, you'll hate me later. Exit Rush is either a helpful variator or the most damning, depending on what trial. Once the main objective is complete, the exit shuttle is auto-called and the time to escape is reduced to 35 seconds, meaning you only have 45 seconds to leave the trial. On a trial like Poison the Medicine, you start so far away from the exit shuttle that you are basically guaranteed to run out of time. On trials like Fumigate the Factory, it helps you escape since you don't have to kite the big grunt. And if something goes wrong during a trial where this variator is bad, you're either completely screwed or have to leave your teammate behind. Stay Together is a variator I don't concern myself with because it never gets applied to solo escalation runs. If you wander too far away from a teammate, you are shocked. This really hurts when you and your teammate get chased and go in different directions, creating a mad scramble to regroup. A real doozy for group escalation runs, since it changes up the whole team dynamic and playstyle. I'm sorry I don't have footage for it. I don't think my friend would have liked playing this variator. Voice disturbance is self-explanatory, and my friends love this variator. When you talk in voice chat or pings, it creates a level 2 noise. A fun, immersive variator. Bomb countdown, fuck this variator. Why take your time when the bomb strapped to your chest makes you speedrun? If the time runs out, the bomb on your chest explodes and the trial is failed. You cannot respawn after the bomb explodes. Time extenders spawn around the map, which lets you stay in the trial longer. Each extender you use extends the time by 1 minute with a maximum of 5 minutes. Any time over that is just lost. Let me tell you a story. One time I was playing a good escalation run, and I got bomb countdown on Pleasure the Prosecutor. Now that already sounds very painful, but guess what else I got? I got no running. That was not fun. I seriously contemplated just leaving the trial right then and there, but I somehow did it. I don't know how, but I somehow did it. Speaking of no running, this variator sucks. I hate it. It artificially extends the length of the trial and makes you play don't make noise with how careful you have to be anywhere, because if you get into psychosis or chase, you're screwed. Your health is gone. If you run with this variator, you will begin to take minor amounts of damage. And don't even think about jumping to avoid this, because you'll take damage from constant jumping. Because the running was already slow enough. Adrenaline is the only way to stop taking damage from running, finally giving a second use to adrenaline. Hallucinations has scared me too much. The Skinner Man, without warning, will do his jump scare run at you or scare you in hiding spots. This scared me so much that I can never forgive Red Barrels for making this variator. 9. Oh my god! Jesus! God, not twice in a row. Hi, Bambino. Alright, I didn't scream that time, but it still made me, like, tense up. That's 3 times in a row. I'm not happy. Oh my god! Toxic Shock and Cold Snap are basically the same variator. When the alarm plays, find a hiding spot to avoid taking damage. This artificially extends the trial's length like no running, but at least it's only a minor inconvenience that can create fun tension when the alarm plays during the chase. And not like no running, where you just take damage anytime you run. Permafrost is the most recently added variator. Reminder, this video was made as of Project Messiah, and while I like the concept of permafrost, I don't like that the reagent is constantly breathing in my ear. Makes it very hard to edit in the barrel I'm hiding in. In permafrost, the entire trial has a cold atmosphere that drains your warmth. If your warmth runs out, you begin to freeze and take damage. Fire bells will spawn around the trial, and certain points like buttons will have heaters. Use these to stay warm. If you thought variators were fun, now you can mix and match your own specific trials. You can literally become Eastermen. You are Eastermen at home. I made devious trials, such as Liberate the Package, a modified Reunite the Family, where you can't make noise, otherwise you will be heard by enemies, or Shot by Franco. Fun! All with a time limit and a mandatory second objective. If you get Find Schematics, you're Godspeed. And Wrangle the Prisoners, a modified Poison the Cattle where you can't run and have little to no reprieve in that pesky gas zone because I said no hiding spots too. Oh, also, take damage and you're in psychosis. You also can't run, so fuck you. That's what I hate this trial. I made a whole video about it. With a maximum of 8 variators, you can participate in masochism as you combine the worst variators ever, such as Don't Make Noise and Franco Barbie! In all seriousness, the Trial Maker is really fun to play around with and create unique challenges. It also really helped putting together this video for enemies like pushers and pitchers. To get footage for them, I mean. You don't feel as BS'd about things unlike some combinations of variators in Escalation, mostly because you put the variators together. Find some truly grueling challenges from the community, or make your own and have fun, you goddamn masochist.
It's finally happening. I've been preparing this for months. Don't blow it.
You gotta go. Now! Good luck!
We're gonna have to get that rig off your chest, those goggles off your head. It's gonna hurt, and it's gonna leave a scar if it doesn't kill you. We're heading for an old biohazard disposal. According to the design, there's an unmonitored exit. Look for daylight, and don't stop for anything. It's time to go. Don't forget what you've seen here.
Due to the redesign in the shuttle system for escalation, a reagent was able to slink into the walls of Sinlaya and create an opportunity to escape. Amelia was the rat inside Sinlaya that set up hundreds, if not thousands, of reagents' escapes. Amelia's presence outside of the security and watchful eye of Murkoff drove Easterman insane, and he drank X-Pop his I Am Serious, which I guess would get you extremely high since they pump everyone in this facility full of drugs. With the help of reagents disabling the security cameras around the trials during the under surveillance event, Amelia got everything prepared and managed to let numerous reagents escape into the Arizona desert. Because of the events of Outlast 1 and 2, it's safe to assume that Amelia's plan did not work, and all reagents who escaped either died in the desert or were killed by Murkoff before exposing them. Amelia was caught, and Easterman shut off Rebirth.
I give you everything. I take care of you. I nurture you. And you try to leave me? Nobody's leaving. No more release. No more rebirth. I'm trying to believe it's not your fault. Sometimes, impressionable people make unfortunate friends. But she won't be a problem any longer. You want freedom? This is what freedom looks like. You want peace? This is peace. You want control? I'll even give you control, but I'm gonna need you to admit that you don't want to leave me. You've become addicted to that therapy. It's specific pleasures. It's comforting instruction. Addicts don't want to let go. They don't want release. What addicts want, what you want, is relapse.
He also crucified Amelia before removing her to a hospital bed in a high-security area. Amelia may become a prime asset or specialist X-Pop in the future. This security breach needed to be blamed on somebody, though. Murkoff wouldn't let this lapse go unpunished.
We're going to have to tell the board. We've lost too many reagents. Too much security killed trying to get them back.
They're going to shut us down? And that's funny how.
You have any idea how much money this place is bringing in? Murkoff doesn't mind a little mess. They'll want somebody's head on the chopping block, but then we're back to the good work.
Well, we find who authorized the new switching stations for escalation therapy back in January. We can finger the guilty party. Makes a good story, and has the added benefit of happening to be true.
Sure, but top priority is Amelia. We have to stop the bleeding.
Yeah.
And Perry, you know what it means if you fix this, right? Immediate advancement. Murkoff is not shy about rewarding its loyal soldiers.
Just before Murkoff caught Amelia, Clyde Perry was trying to find her and capture her. This capture succeeded, but Amelia managed to get him to step on a blind mine and get cut in half by a shuttle. And Easterman leaves Perry to die, aiming to pin all the blame for Amelia onto Perry. The agents are angry at Murkoff. Not for the pain the trials have painted onto them, but for missing their chance to escape. They miss Amelia, are inspired by her and motivated by anger to try and escape. So you either destroy Amelia's story, or you let the reagents release their anger. We redirect the reagents' anger towards Murkoff onto their fellow man. They will learn to be more vigilant. They will learn to hurt those they trust with the tiniest of discrepancies. They will become even more under our control. This rebellious streak in Lathy's history will be forgotten. It will become a lesson. Amelia's loyalists will die as soon as they feel the handle of the knife. The blood they have on their hands they will enjoy. And Murkoff will no longer be seen as a warden, but as Christ itself. Now, Invasion is a not very complicated game mode in terms of, like, baseline function, but that's not its purpose. Its purpose is not to be complicated. Its purpose is to be terrifying. And I wanted to show how terrifying and how stressful Invasion is. Invasion is Outlast Trials' way of doing PvP, and somehow filling the game with even more tension than it already had. Invasion selected from the experimental therapy can only be MK challenges, but if no trials are currently available from the Invasion therapy reagent pool, the game will move on to finding any program's trial except Escalation and Trial Maker, and checking if the host has Global Invasion turned on. As a reagent, your goal is to either outlast an invasion by completing the trial and escaping through the shuttle, or surviving the invasion by killing an imposter twice. Killing imposters is hard without a specific do-over rigs, that being stun and jammer. If you're looking to absolutely steamroll imposters, run the meta build with the amps Recycle, one person uses double doses if you're in a team, Smash, and Self-Revive. This makes you very hard to catch and chase as well as keep you dead. If you're running solo, use stun, as it's the best on-demand stun you'll need against imposters. 2 imposters invade if the invadees are 3 or more players. 2 reagents and below, only 1 imposter is allowed in the trial at a time. As the imposter, the aim of the game is to disrupt the trial. In Invasion's first iteration, the goal was to completely kill and fail reagents, but since imposter is actually kinda hard against skilled players, the goal was changed. And that is for the better, because keeping someone dead is very hard, due to a considerable amount of syringes and respawn pills around the trial, as well as the gemma rig having 2 revives. And whenever I say considerable, I mean like 2, but that's still a lot for how much effort you have to put into killing someone. Imposters survey the trials through cameras placed around the map while they are not deployed. Cameras can ping X-Pops and reagents. Imposters can also ping reagents to get a brief tracking of their location. If in a group, cameras should be used to track reagents for other imposters. These cameras can be destroyed by reagents, and once a camera is destroyed, it cannot be repaired. Once reagents stall the intro of the trial long enough, or make it to a specific part of the trial, imposters are allowed to deploy. Imposters deploy and retreat through insertion gates. When initially deployed, imposters will see a brief shadow of where every reagent is currently. This shadow also shows up when reagents make level 3 noises. Imposters have two moves, Slash and Stab. Slash is a quick swipe in front of you that damages a reagent for a bar and a half of health. Stab is a move that slows you down and must be charged up. Once charged, as long as the reagent is in range, you can enter a grab with the reagent that, if not countered by the reagent with a brick or bottle, or interrupted by another reagent with a kick, will enter an instant kill animation. When a reagent is downed or killed, a 30-second timer will pop up telling the imposter who downed or killed the reagent to return to an insertion gate. If this timer runs out, the imposter will begin getting electrocuted. Imposters can execute a downed reagent, but be careful of that timer and nearby reagents, because every bar of damage an imposter takes, 15 more seconds are added on a 30-second cooldown for imposter redeployment. And if you die, that's a minute and 30 seconds till you can redeploy. A real risk-reward conundrum, but it's very fun and very tense for both sides. By the way, whenever an imposter is executing someone, they can hear the reagent speak, which is very funny if you have soundboards. Imposters do not trigger traps like gas mines or door traps unless they are jammed, but they can be stunned by traps if they are triggered while they are near them. Imposters can also be detected by X-Pops, but always prioritize real reagents over imposters, so be careful when running by an X-Pop or you could get hurt. By the way, if you're solo invading, do not ping reagents with cameras unless you're about to deploy. This tells the reagent that you are not in the trial, and they will quickly focus on the objective instead of being vigilant about your presence. Something I figured out recently is that imposters cannot perform stab on stairs, so if you're worried about getting stabbed, like you're out of stamina or something, just go to a set of stairs and tank the slash. When an imposter hits a reagent, the reagent gets the effects of the quick escape amp whether or not they have it equipped. They will regen stamina and have increased running speed for a period of time. Imposters run faster than reagents, but reagents have more stamina than imposters, so imposters benefit most from ambushing or cutting off reagents, since reagents also have many tools to interrupt your chase, like slamming the door on your face. Stamina management or outplaying with skills is the name of the game, like it's goddamn Forsaken. Invasion is a really fun game mode since it heavily increases the tension of the game by making you face players who are just as intelligent as you. This section is also the most liable to go out of date, since the Invasion game mode will most certainly get updates and changes. Hell, they'll probably add imposter classes soon. Now, if you're watching this video, you're either me, my friends, or new to the game. Either way, don't play imposter until you know the maps pretty well. Invasion as a beginner is extremely difficult, and I highly recommend that you don't even touch Invasion until, like, Relapse 1 at least. Invasion is a hard game mode. Please, for your own sanity, get good at the base game before you even try Imposter or Reagent. Invasion lore-wise is quite interesting. After the escape event, Easterman slipped into a really bad mental state. He was already in a bad mental state during Amelia, but it got worse. But in this state, he comes up with a new therapy to get reagents back on track. They're still dreaming about Amelia. They're still dreaming about escape. I can hear them, like mice in the walls. Ungrateful, scheming, confused, perverse, self-destructive, willfully stupid. How can a father teach anything to children who won't trust him? They want to trust. They think they can trust each other. They need to trust me. I take with one hand, so I may give with the other. Easterman introduced the Deep Burn program after Escape, which ended up doing more bad than good.
You're pouting.
I don't pout.
Come on, I've seen you with a bad taste in your mouth. What is it?
The arson thing is getting to be a problem. If we wanted to set indiscriminate fires, we'd use napalm.
You do use napalm. All the time. This country makes more napalm than Cheese Whiz.
But it's not what we came to Murkoff for. We need scalpels, dupes with precise operational guidance, and zero operational context.
Don't let the perfect be the enemy of the good.
Look, here. Kern County, Carcass, Tokyo, I got half a dozen more. Places your reagents had single targets they were ordered to take out with knives or poison, and instead they set fires. Half the time after the target's dead.
Dead is dead?
That's not a scalpel. If this gets traced back to you, this could get traced back to the agency. We're the good guys here. We can't have this rolling back on us. Even with the agency being pissed, which is who Murkoff supplies their sleeper agents to, Easterman tries to get invasion approved. If I can speak frankly, there are concerns from the board. I'd be more than happy. I'd be ecstatic to speak to the board directly. I made the trip. They've reviewed your proposal for Project Invasion. Especially considering the recent patient transfers from Mount Massive, well, there are concerns.
You could be more specific.
You're only a few months past a near total security collapse. Who knows how many escaped reagents are still at large? We've pivoted on that. We've activated resources, turned it into an opportunity for further learning. And you now want to give these same reagents weapons? It's a matter of trust, a gift, a phallic totem to endanger a sense of confidence and love. I'm sorry, a totem of...
Olivier, we have a specific request from the agency to train our reagents in the use of knives. This is coming direct from Bissell. Depending on how November goes, we could be in Clover for years. I've projected budget numbers here.
The reagents won't be themselves, is the thing. They'll be a mask. It will be a framed persona who wields the knife, a performative act of disassociation. They don't have to trust themselves, they don't even have to be themselves. They only have to trust me, and be the people that they're killing. A performative, ritualistic suicide, ceremonial ego death. And then they trust no one but me. And even when we release them, they won't escape me, because they won't want to escape me. They'll have me inside them forever. Miss Avellanos, maybe I could see those budgets.
Why would they participate?
Sorry?
These imposter reagents who've spent months, years working with each other, saving each other's lives, why would they suddenly be willing to kill each other?
The mask is a totem of ego death. They'll kill for me because they trust in me.
And if they try to attack experimental population or prime assets?
We'll give them a mild correction, Moses. Haven't you been paying attention at all? They've been killing each other from day one. We take one of them and write snitch on his chest, and or put him on a cross, and they're willing to do absolutely anything to them, no matter how brutal or depraved. I say, hang your friend by his neck until dead, and they say, how high? Invasion was ultimately approved, and now Easterman has reagents killing each other with a very big scalpel. Also, look at this footage I got while I was recording Invasion B-roll, and it shows the glories of voices, of being able to hear reagents' voices while executing them. Fucking hilarious, dude. Rebirth is not enough. We can take a pile of clay and mold it, but once the clay is taken out of the kiln, what more can you do with it? It's useless if it sits on the shelf. So we take the hardened clay and smash it to pieces, bash it until it's unrecognizable and in a million tiny sharp shapes of trauma. Then we take the shards and make something new. When you reach level 99 after going through evaluation, a door will open up. Entering it starts this dramatic violin, and you are prompted to relapse.
Another relapse. When you inject the medication, I want you to try and hold an image in your mind's eye. Maybe a sheep, a lamb. We need to know how much you're able to remember.
Relapsing sets you to level 1, gives you a relapse token which can be used to permanently unlock anything, and increases the orange number under your name by 1 and gives you a plaque outside your room. Relapsing is effectively prestiging and is a sign that you are entering the endgame of the Outlast trials. Oh, if you refuse the relapse, the guy watching you says a voice line basically calling you a coward.
They say if you love something, you should let it go. Don't you love your life? You come back whenever you're feeling braver. If I was you, I'd do it. I'm here when you're ready. There's nothing to be scared of.
Sir, I sincerely hope you are the pusher that I pelt bricks with.
There's one born every minute.
You are your reflection. A dishonest pose for vanity and self-abuse. You are trapped. You are blind. You are meat. Until you destroy everything you see in the mirror. Destroy the lie and release yourself.
Rebirthing is the finale of the game. Earn 100 Rebirth tokens by playing the therapy, complete the final trial, and you are free. This entrance always looks so peaceful, like a portal to another world, a world much better than Sinlaya. But as you step into the corridor, you are reminded of where you are. Communal Rebirth makes you play an MK trial with 2 mandatory secondary objectives, and a random, unknown variator, which can range from toxic shock to glass makes you bleed if you step on it. Also, the camera is mirrored, which is heavily disorienting for a veteran like me who knows these maps very well. The first secondary objective is tuning radios, which speak the words spider, eye, lamb. Then, you have to grab a box of folders from your corpse randomly found in the trial, that you then take back to the shuttle and deposit. Don't ask me, I don't know why the corpse is there. After completing the trial, you'll be given a newspaper of a tragedy that occurred. with you and your friends' faces as prime suspects.
The trials are inside you now. If you can survive one final test, you can leave this place. This is the hostile womb from which you must claw your way to freedom, to power, to history. You will be a perfect weapon, the most innocent child ever born. You're the future.
Rebirthing solo is a whole different experience. Return to where you began, the mansion. With the mirror modifier, replace the documents you once shredded. Every now and then the lights will turn off and on, providing much needed darkness to stealth around. Then go downstairs and avoid the most devious berserker placement ever. Try and lure him to the garden to maneuver around him a lot easier. That corridor is tight. Find the corresponding keys in the garden while avoiding the Night Hunter. Be very careful about getting caught in the garden since the noise detector gate makes it very hard to go to a different room. Best way to lose him is to hide in the light, in the little whatever it's called when the lights are turned on. A random prime asset can be inserted into the trial through an insertion gate. Oh yeah, I can't revive at all in this trial, so be extra careful around enemies and please use last chance. Loot of containers and lock containers are changed up in this trial for whatever reason. They no longer guarantee the Wrigley Charger and large medicines. You need to do two objectives. Hear the words, see the words. Aside from replacing your documents. To hear the words, you find and tune 3 radios on the bottom floor. The radios say, Spider, Eye, Lamb. For see the words, you need to find a film reel on the bottom floor and put it in the projector. Then turn on the generator in the house, where a night hunter patrols, and a screamer beats the most annoying little shit ever by standing right in front of that noise detector gate. Find the gas canister to power the generator on the bottom floor. After that,
it's time to say goodbye, darling. Time to take what you've learned and share it with the world.
just go down this ledge and... Oh, come on, man, I'm almost out. Just gotta run with these little fucking goddamn legs and out. After being consumed by the light very similar to the towers in Outlast 2, you'll get a random ending in the game. Endings can be as lackluster as getting activated in a Cuban hotel room. This used to be the only ending in the game, by the way. Or as cool as being unintentionally activated while being held hostage by the cartel. Congratulations! You are now a sleeper agent.
Агент, сука, ты где? Покажи себя, а то вы все сдохнете. Переведи им быстро. У тебя 2 секунды. 1, 2. Спроси, сука, у них, как они доставят яд. Как они выйдут на Луму? Спроси, что значат эти слова? Паук, глаз, ягненок.
What does this mean? Spider, eye, line.
After that, you are sent back to the sleep room. You will gain a random reborn outfit and a ton of XP. Also, all your cosmetics are randomized. I hope you remember what you had on, or for once, try a different outfit. Now that you've watched this video, you are the sleepiest agent of them all. So that's everything. That's everything. I'm sure I missed some mechanic or got something wrong, probably with Lily's lore. But I know most of everything in this video is true, with the trials at the very least. And the items. Of course, the best way to learn how the game works is by playing it. There are some things I didn't mention, like the invasion ranks, or being able to pop witnesses through windows, or I don't know how I didn't remember to put it, but I'm not going back. My endurance has run out. In Lily's trial, in Spoil the Auction, the way the blacklight is coded, whenever you're using it, you are seen as like in the sunlight, or in light, but against the X-ray man, or Night Hunter, if you use it, he just can't see you. He can't see you. I mean, of course, if you touch him, he'll swing at you, but he can't see you if you're using it. So he could be staring directly at you, and he cannot see you. But, like I said, the best way you can learn how this game works is by playing it. Well then, I hope you enjoyed the little music intro and the thing and the music for the imposter gameplay. I hope you enjoyed this video as a whole. This was a video I have been wanting to do forever, and life has finally given me the time to do it. The YouTuber Limonalxy, I think that's how you say it, made a guide to Outlast like mine, but he didn't go in depth on some things as I did. And I know it might be a little suspicious that I did it, only like, what, a month? Or a half a month after he did his guide, but I did my guide to becoming a very sleepy agent way before he did the first version. But I mean, like, of course, he did a good job. I commend him. And he also plans on making a definitive guide once the game is announced to no longer be getting updates, which I will sure as hell not be doing, because I have played this game too much in the last 2 weeks, and I have done this exact thing, guide, twice. I'm not doing it a third time unless I just really don't like myself. Go watch his video if you want another view on the game. I hope this project was as enjoyable to watch as I am proud of it. I can tell you right now, going through downtown and suburbs was probably like peak. I really don't like playing this game. You can probably hear it whenever I'm reviewing the trials. I was right. I got sick of editing this video, but now that I am in the home stretch, I am literally sentences away from completing this video. I am proud of it. Have a good life. Please be happy. And despite all the shit going on in the world, just know that things will get better. As Coyle says, it's darkest before the dawn. See you next time. Also, here's my hours after filming this video. Holy shit.
Our servants will obey us absolutely. They will kill for us and die for us because they will believe with absolute conviction that our goals are their own.
Okay, the next rest of the video is going to be dedicated to my thoughts on making this project. This is for me. You can click off the video now. This is for me. I think this was it. I did this project a lot better than I did back, I don't know, maybe it's 2 years ago, maybe it's a year ago, I don't know. But I paced myself a lot better. I definitely only had a few moments of extreme burnout, and that was mainly during the trials that were just not good. Making this project was hard, but of course, good things take hard work to do, and the one thing I probably struggled with the most is watching back my footage and thinking, this is bad. My comic dub, that was bad. Because you'll have people like Pyrocynical, who just recently released his Fear and Hunger video. He has voice actors for a lot of characters, and of course his video is a lot more memey, I guess you could say, has a lot more substance to it than mine does, has a lot more editing value. And then I see someone like Flazefire. I know, I will never get to Flazefire or Minax's, I think that's how you say it. I will never get to their level because their editing is so hyperactive that I don't have the patience to do it. And I've learned to stop comparing my videos in any way to someone who has editors and script writers like Pyrocynical. I did everything on my own for this entire video. Special thank you to N Dimension Gamer for helping me set up the imposter stuff, for helping, it would have been a nightmare to do it just by invading random people's trials. He helped me set up a lot of the imposter stuff, like showing off stabs and all that, and I tried my best to get footage for everything I was talking about, but of course, I can't always because my patience runs thin after a nice 68 hours in the past 2 weeks of playing this game. Special thank you to Buffrise as well for voice acting Avianos whenever I was reading off the lore documents. I gotta say, I'm happy I've gotten this over with, and the next project I'm going to do is so beyond the scale of this that I don't know if it's going to even be complete within the next 3 years. But it's a project I definitely want to do. So if you're still listening to this, if I am listening to this, I hope you are having a great day. If you're not, but you came back to this video, well, hopefully I've lightened your mood a bit by showing that hard work does bring about your goals. If you work hard enough and put in enough time, you can achieve something like I have here. Like I said, I'm going to repeat my my outro. Hope you have a great day. Please be happy. And I will see you on the flip side. Okay, one last thing. I just really feel the need to archive this. When I started making this video, or okay, whenever I wrote the entire script for this, except for the trials, I wrote the trials as I did them, or I did them once, then I wrote it, then I did the trial again. Previously it was at, let me check real quick. Previously the word count before the trials was at 19 pages and 10,381 words. Now it is at 34 pages with 20,042. Yeah, that's how you say that. 20,042 words. Yeah, that's how you say that. Alright, remember what I said. Please be happy. Goodbye.